Shut up and sit down.
I'm just gonna get right into it.
Let's do it.
Mr. Jay Washington.
Thanks for having me, man.
How you doing?
I'm good, man. It's hot.
Yeah.
I still have to get used to these California summers.
Yeah.
So this will be my second one. So
You've only been here for 2 years?
it'll be 2 years in December.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I'm from Chicago, so we get humid summers. I'm kind of
Yeah.
get used to humidity in a sense, even though it's uncomfortable. But
What's the average like temperature out there?
for the summer, sometimes the average, depending on when you hit like August, you get like 100 degree days consistently.
Oh, okay.
But you'll get like 80s, 90s.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
get a level of humidity, but then you go to the lakefront and shit like that. You sit up on the air conditioning, chill. This blazing ass saddles heat, Jesus Christ.
It's just dry heat.
It's just dry.
Yeah.
Yo, this shit just dry. Look, I've never realized that as a black man, I need suntan lotion till I moved here.
You get burnt?
Man, I have a joke I tell on stage, and it's the truth.
Yeah.
Like, you know how when you drive and that one arm hangs out by the window and you get that driver's tan?
Yeah, yeah.
This arm was so dark, it looked like it was still in fucking slavery. Okay, the rest of my body had its freedom papers. I went into a CVS, I was like, I need suntan lotion. It was like, I don't know how to do this shit.
But just for one arm though, like
I need to
balance
even this shit out real quick. Dude, it was just super hot. I mean, but it's nice, it's beautiful.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's hot. Like, I always wondered why. I was like, why do people wear umbrellas all the time? I was like,
Oh,
I get it.
Yeah.
I totally get it now. So,
Sunglasses, umbrellas, everything.
man, like, you have to, it's crazy because people are like, oh, it's so beautiful in California. Well, why are you covering your entire body up like it's going to kill you?
Yeah.
You know?
Why are you on the inside and not enjoying?
You out, it's beautiful in California while I sit under my central air. Like, I get it. So, yeah, it's cool, man.
But why did you decide to move out here to LA?
Well, being from Chicago, I've been doing stand-up for like 9 years almost.
Uh-huh.
And I hadn't done anything major at that point in time. I'd done a lot of shows with a lot of good headliners that I know. And when I finally got the opportunity to do Spike Lee's Chirac, I was like, well, I can go to LA and I have a credit to my name now.
Uh-huh.
And all that'll do, hopefully, is open up the door to do more stuff.
Uh-huh.
Because I didn't want to go to New York because there's nothing wrong with New York. I visited there, but it's like, it's Chicago, the same thing, except for more people on top of each other.
What do you mean on top of each other?
Have you ever been to New York?
Yeah, yeah.
So you know how it's like everybody's just crammed in.
Oh, you mean like they don't expand like width-wise.
Yeah.
They're just vertically.
It's
like,
just vertical. Everything is just crammed in and goes up. Where out here it's spread out, of course. But it's just like I get this thing of I have this. It's almost like claustrophobia sometimes when I have so many people up around me, and I'm like, I didn't want to do that. Plus, Chicago is like New York anyway, and we still get a winter. And I needed to know what at least one winter was like without cold weather. So the West was my destination. So I've been here.
Did you feel like you did as much as you could in Chicago before you moved
Yes,
out?
absolutely. I did everything I could and busted my behind every way possible. I would not have come out here if I didn't feel like, that's it, it's time.
Okay, after 9 years, you said, okay, this is
time.
it?
Yeah, because I'm born and raised in Chicago.
Yeah.
So I've lived there my whole life.
Mhm.
I've never lived outside of Chicago. And when it came to my career, having been a wrestler and now doing stand-up and then getting the opportunity to act more, I'd done a couple of commercials. I had filmed one movie before Chirac, and then I filmed Chirac. And it was like, all right, well, what else am I going to keep doing? I travel the road through the Midwest. I can go back and forth. I just want more opportunities. I want to see what more is out there.
Yeah.
So LA came a call, and then I answered the call.
So did you audition for Chirac?
Yes, it was the funniest audition I ever had. I still have my Chicago agent.
Yeah.
And he called me. I never forget. He called me. He was like, I got an audition for you. I was like, cool. He's like, it's for the worst kept secret ever. It's for Spike Lee's Chirac. I was like, all right, cool. So I get the script. I learned the little lines. The characters' names nobody's character names were set because he was keeping it real low key. It was like you're playing for the character named Ben. I was like, all right, whatever.
But his name wasn't going to be Ben.
It wasn't going to be Ben in the movie. And you were talking to a dude named Cyrus,
Uh-huh.
who wasn't going to be Cyrus in the movie. It gets to a second. So I learned my lines. I'm like, all right, I'm going to go in here with a regular cast and director, normal.
This is in Chicago still.
It's in Chicago.
Yeah.
I go into the Black Ensemble Theater up north in Chicago, historic venue. Go there, I see a bunch of people I know, a bunch of actors and stuff. And I started seeing some of these big wigs from Chicago that do TV and stuff like that. But I'm like, it's a Spike Lee movie.
Mhm.
Of course people will be there.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'll never forget, one of the guys came out, was like, yo, he's thirsty. He wants something to drink. I was like, who the hell is he? And also peeking around the corner, I see Spike Lee. I was like, oh shit, he's here. So I was like, well, ain't no point in getting nervous now. You know your lines. Just go in and do what you do. So I go in. I meet the casting director. It's Kim Coleman. Spike Lee's sitting there, and he takes my headshot and resume. He's like, "You're a comedian." I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Are you funny?" I said, "My schedule say so." He was like, "Well, it's a lot of unfunny people with a busy schedule." I said, "That ain't me." Yeah. And so then I go through my lines and stuff, and we end up improvising something behind it for like 5 minutes. Wow. Right before I'm about to walk out the door to leave, he closes the door. Was like, "Yo, are you here for the summer?" I said, "I'm here for the summer." Yeah. He's like, "Okay, we'll be in touch." The next day, I left out. I was like, "I think I'm 95% sure I just booked a role in the Spike Lee film." I was like, "What?"
First audition for just like...
No, that was for him. I mean, I've done commercials before.
No, but first audition for Chirac.
Yeah, okay. First audition. I'm like,
there was no callback.
No call. Okay. I'm like, I'm 95% sure. Mm-hmm. So I leave out. The next day, I get a call from my agent. They putting you on hold. They want to know, are you available for these days? I said, hell yeah. A week later, my agent called me again. Hey, they still want to know, are you available? Yes.
Yeah. I
got an email one day. It was like, they want to know, are you available for these days? I said, look, I'll tell Jesus he can't come back until I'm done filming this.
Like, I'll be available.
I'll be available.
Yeah.
And May 5th, I got one last email. It was like, casting needs to know, are you directly available for these specific days? Mm-hmm. I said, yes. 4 hours later, I got the call. I officially booked it. Wow. I was like, I went in tears, dude. I went in tears.
Yeah.
I put on anybody who knows me. One of my buddies, J.R. Bang, who used to be the co-host to our radio show, Educated Insanity in Chicago. We have this thing. If we hit something real big, the only thing we'll post on Facebook or Twitter is the picture of Shawn Michaels winning the WWE title at Survivor Series.
Does he do his dance? The Shawn Michaels dance?
No, it's just Shawn Michaels sitting in the middle of the ring with the belt in tears. It's the boyhood dream come true.
Damn.
So before I said anything, I posted that, and people who knew me were like, "What did you get?"
Yeah.
It's like, "What did you get that big?" And I told them. So then I put it out there, and then it was like, cool. Then it was like the whole process of, all right, now you got to come in for fitting and wardrobe. I was like, cool. I go in for wardrobe. They got all the cast pictures and headshots on the wall. And this is the moment when I'm like, oh, shit, this is real. Because I see my picture. I see Nick Cannon, Tiana Paris, Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock, Angela Bassett, Samuel L. Jackson, John Cusack, Lala. The list goes on and on to all these upper echelon stars.
Yeah.
And again, I still have no idea what I'm doing. I just know I'm in this movie. I got a role in the movie.
So you don't know like how big your part is? Or?
I have at this point, I still have no idea.
Because they only gave you like a page to learn? Or?
That's all they gave me was a little page to learn.
So you have no idea.
No backstory, no nothing.
Whoa.
So the costume department, they said they were going to spend all the money in Chicago to help with the costumes, so they was going to keep the money in the community. Mm-hmm. So they took us on 47th to Kings Drive in historic Bronzeville, take us down there to get the wardrobe. And the costuming lady puts this one shirt up in front of me. She says, he's going to look good with Wes with this on. Mm-hmm. I literally said, Wes who? She was like, you have no idea what you're doing. I said, I don't have a clue. She said, oh, baby, don't worry. You're just Wesley Snipes' right-hand man. I said, excuse me? She's like, you as first lieutenant, you as right-hand man, you in almost every scene with him. I said, whoa. Hold on, wait a second. Me?
And Wesley?
And Wesley? And then like 2 days later, because I was still filming on another movie called Imperfections that comes out later this year.
Oh, yeah.
And 2 days later, I was my last day of filming, and John Cusack has set up something for the cast at the Soho House in Chicago. Which, first of all, that's like an upper echelon. You got to be artsy. You got to be invited to do all that.
Yeah.
So they was like, yeah, just when you go to the desk, tell them you're part of the cast of Chirac, and they'll take you upstairs.
Yeah.
I go upstairs. It's John Cusack. It's Lala. It's Wesley Snipes, all them. I'm like, okay, I'm going to just sit here and eat pizza with y'all and order high-end food.
You couldn't talk to them at all?
No, I could.
Yeah.
But it was so surreal. Like, I've always been around celebrities all my life. I've been blessed with that ability because my aunt used to bowl with Michael Jordan's ex-wife, so I met Michael Jordan before I used to work at the United Center.
Oh, shit.
Her actual godfather was the godfather of soul, James Brown.
Whoa.
So I've always been blessed with that ability to be around celebrities, so I don't get that starstruck. But I'm getting to work with people now.
Yeah.
You know, and so we all just chilling, and me and Wesley Snipes, we cracking jokes. I was like, oh, this is going to be fun.
Yeah.
And so the rest was history.
So did you guys vibe on set? Like,
we
vibed
like perfectly.
Yeah,
we connected from day one.
You weren't like scared to work with him? You're like, hey, this guy's like a big actor. I'm just a new guy here.
I thought a little bit, but I was like, I can't go in thinking that. And the first day, and I'm going to tell you what made the first day even weird, even crazier, because we filmed at this one used to be popular club called The Shrine. Mm-hmm. And the night before you get your call sheet, I look on the call sheet, I see Wesley Snipes, Jay Washington, Corey Hendricks, my buddy, a couple of people in the scenes. I look down the list, it says Morris, Dave Chappelle, I almost lose my goddamn mind.
You were on the same set with him.
The only scene Dave Chappelle is in the whole movie, I'm in it with him.
Yeah.
I'm a comedian. This is the god of the gang. Yeah. This is one of the gods.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh. I was in an Uber, matter of fact, that day. And I think I started rubbing my nipples in the back of the Uber. I think my Uber driver was like, what's wrong with dude? I was like, oh. So I'm looking at it, and I called my then girlfriend at the time, and I was like, yo, Dave Chappelle is in this scene.
Yeah.
And so it was crazy because we get on set, I got to be there early, go to hair and makeup. I'm in one chair. Wesley Snipes is sitting next to me.
Yeah.
We just sitting there joking around. Spike Lee walks in the trailer. And Spike tells Wes, he's like, yo, you know who I'm set today? He was like, who? He was like, Dave Chappelle. Oh, what's that? Cool. Spike looks at me, was like, I already know, Jay. I was like, man, I'm good. I'm straight. Let's work.
Yeah.
But in the back of my mind, I'm like a little girl, like, oh, God, I gotta meet Dave Chappelle. And so
you're freaking out.
I was freaking out in my head.
Yeah.
We get on set. Dave walks in. Spike is like, Jay, be cool. I'm like, hey, bro, I'm cool. I'm here to work. Putting this whole facade on.
Yeah. And
then we do the scene. And then there was a point where initially I didn't have lines in that scene. But Spike lets you improv if he knows you can do it and add to the scene.
Oh, okay.
So the lines initially were just Dave and Wesley. Spike was like, Jay, go ahead and get in that. I was like, word. And so then there was one point, me and Dave Chappelle going back and forth, joke for joke. Oh, and I broke him twice, made him laugh twice. Yeah. In the back of my mind, I'm like, winner! And then after that, him and I talked for after we were done filming the scene.
Yeah.
After everything was done, him and I talked for half hour.
Yeah.
We exchanged numbers and everything, stayed in contact. So when I moved out here, he was one of the first people I saw. He was like, what's up, Chirac? You done moved out here?
Oh, shit. He remembered you?
He remembered me, and still does to this day. So we keep in contact and stuff. Pretty cool, dude.
He still kind of goes around this comedy circuit. Like, he's at the Comedy Store sometimes.
He's everywhere. Dude, he's so cool. Like, people think, oh, I can only catch him at the Comedy Store, the Improv, or the Laugh Factory. My buddy Adam Hunter out here, who just got married, congratulations to him, quick plug to him, has a show he does at the Dime on Fairfax in L.A. Dave is dropped in that little small spot.
Oh, he doesn't care if it's like a big theater or anything?
He doesn't care. He's not that dude. He's like, yo, I love that. He loves the game. He loves the vibe of it. Because those are the rooms where you can get the real rawness of what's going on with your jokes.
Yeah.
And he'll do that. He's so down to earth, man. That's why I tell everybody, to this day, regardless of some of the criticism the movie may have faced, I faced it personally. Like I said, being born and raised in Chicago, being raised in that neighborhood in which the film is about, went to school 2 blocks from where we shot a lot of the scenes. I caught a lot of critics like, how are you going to let Spike exploit the city? I was like, man, that's not what it is.
So people were saying he was exploiting it.
Yeah, of course they were.
Was it set in like a certain time?
No, it was set in present day.
Oh, present day.
The only thing was it used the theme from the play Lysistrata.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So, and for those unfamiliar with it, Lysistrata is the story of a woman who made the women of 2 warring countries go on a sex strike until the men came to peace.
Yeah.
And people was like, how's that going to stop gang violence, this, and the third?
Yeah.
I said, well, you all considered the gang violence wars for real. Historically, sex strikes have known to actually work. So it's not really far-fetched.
Okay.
And so a lot of people caught all that criticism and everything. And I still say, despite all that, to this day, I am utterly grateful and thankful to Spike Lee for that opportunity because it's opened so many doors for me. It's amazing so many people I meet, like who are high-level celebrities and big-name people who be like, yo, I saw Chirac. Which one were you? And then I say, I'm the dude with the orange headband. Literally. When I tell you just the headband, bro, they be like, oh, my God, that's you. Like, I'm the same dude.
Like, you can tell it's you. Like,
I'm the same dude. But I tell everybody I'm grateful for that because it allowed me to meet some of my heroes.
Yeah.
To work with so many people, now to have them, instead of being just heroes and role models and idols and icons, to be peers.
Yeah. When you talk to Dave Chappelle, did you talk to him about his old stand-ups, like what it's worth?
We talked about all that. We talked about how he started. He talked about how when he was coming up, it was Tony Woods and Tommy Davidson. Tommy Davidson's like a big brother to me in the game.
Oh shit!
And we were talking about that. He was like, man, Tommy and Tony would give me hell. He would say he would be in the back looking at his set, looking at his notes, and they'll smack his jokes out his hand and be like, if you don't know your jokes, don't go on stage.
Oh shit! Tommy was bullying David?
It wasn't like bullying, but it was forcing you to learn your material. Don't rely on your notes.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't, people like, oh, he's bullying. They were bullying and hazing him. Nah. He was like, if you don't know your jokes, don't go on that stage.
So it's good advice.
It's a good advice. It's because you see comedians still to this day sometimes come up with notes and stuff written down. It's like, no, people expect you to know what you're doing.
I see that at the Comedy Store all the time. They have their iPhones out. They're like, oh, what's next?
What's next? Right. No, you're not supposed to know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And Tony Woods, who's he's one of the people that Dave got his voice from, kind of. Tommy Davidson is Tommy Davidson.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Did they start out in D.C.?
I think all in the D.C. area, yeah.
Okay.
They all started in the D.C. area together. So D.C., Baltimore area.
Is that a different style of comedy, like East Coast, as opposed to like L.A. comedy?
Yeah, there's definitely a different style. There's definitely different styles. There's a different style from L.A., New York to Chicago.
Oh, yeah?
There's different styles there. You can go to Atlanta, Seattle, Houston, all the different places. All the different comedy scenes have different styles.
What was your style of comedy in Chicago? For
me, I had to learn how to be more comfortable being me, because when I first started doing stand-up, I was always under the impression that I'm a black man, so I have to be a black comic. And people are like, what's wrong with that? I felt I had to be the Def Jam type of comic or a Comic View style comic instead of just being whatever was going to be comfortable to me. I felt like I had to fit that mold. And once I realized, oh, that's not me per se, let me just talk how I talk. Let me just be how I am. Let me be high energetic. Let me be silly in a sense. Let me be the person that has these quick quips and be able to go off the top of the dome with things and apply that to the jokes and the stories I'm telling. And when I allowed that to happen, it allowed me to grow because I connected with audiences more. It was, oh, he's being real.
Yeah, it's your own voice.
It's my own voice.
You're Jay Washington. You're not a carbon copy of some other guy.
Absolutely. Yeah. Even though there are people, even though there's going to be always people in comedy, the comedians are always loving their styles. For me, if you ask, who are your favorite comics? I'll always tell you first and foremost, Patrice O'Neal.
Oh, yeah?
Because I love Patrice's ability to sit down on stage, talk to you like it's a conversation, but it's him telling jokes.
Yeah, he's very relaxed.
He's so relaxed, and you wouldn't know the difference.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know the difference. And he was so, I'm going to tell you something you don't want to hear, but I promise you'll laugh at it.
It'll be funny at the end.
It'll be funny at the end.
Yeah.
And so I love doing that, and I love being that way. I love telling stories about myself, especially being the bigger guy that I am, that you would never expect to hear me tell. Like, they're true stories. Like, I tell a story about how I hate squirrels. I don't like squirrels. I tell about how I almost got scared of a mouse when I got scared of a mouse because an ex-girlfriend had it. It was a mouse in her house, and she got mad at me because of my response. Because most dudes tell their girls, baby, I'll catch it and kill it. Or baby, I'll call the exterminator. I didn't do either one of those. I think we should see other people. Because it's not my job. That's not on me. Don't put that on me. You know what I'm saying? But it's me being open.
Yeah.
Because those are stories you're not really supposed to tell anybody. You know, you're supposed to keep those. Those are your closest friends' dark secrets.
It's supposed to be a secret like that because you're not shown as a man or something?
Yeah, you know, people the story, like we see in cartoons always, the elephant and the mouse.
Yeah.
And how always the elephant is scared of the mouse.
Yeah, jumps on the table.
All that. And that's supposed to be in theory with guys and mice. So me being a bigger dude and I see a mouse running around, I'm on the couch like, no, this ain't got nothing to do with me. This is your house. Don't you put this on me.
Yeah.
And so when I started telling that, people were like, what? Because it made people laugh because they couldn't believe it. But then at the same time, they're like, you were open enough to do that. So,
and they can picture you like this big man. You would think he's like,
like he's just ready to just smash the mouse or anything. I'm sitting on this couch with my feet up. I don't want to.
Were you like I don't want to say like nerdy comic, but you're wearing a Power Rangers shirt. So would you have like references to like comic books or anything? I
do here and there. I don't do it so much, just because the fact that, I'm not sure how many people actually reference it. I like it. Now, that's the weirdest thing. Everybody's like, yo, how is a dude who's built like a defensive end always walking around with some comic book shirt on?
Yeah.
I was like, well, I'm kind of a nerd. And they're like, wait, huh? I was like, but you tell somebody you'll stump their earlobes together. I was like, yeah, I did. But it's just different parts and different facets of me. It's those different elements that make the whole Jay Washington.
So did you grow up like into that stuff, like nerdy kind of stuff?
Yeah, dude, I was such a nerd. I was thinking about this the other day. I used to take old school colanders, the metal ones that folded out and looked like a satellite dish. And I would literally take, my uncle worked for, at the time, was Ameritech. And he would be able to bring home a whole bunch of telephone wire. I would strip some of the wires, take the copper out of tie them in, make an antenna with a hanger. Then I use one as a satellite, another as an antenna, and feed it into the radio and see how many stations I could pick up.
So you were like electronically engineering like your own radio station?
I was doing it myself.
Yeah.
I would also do that, then take a keyboard I have, try to figure out what notes on a synthesizer sound could I hit to have it transmit out the signal, see if I could talk to aliens. I bullshit you not, I did.
You tried to talk to aliens?
I tried to see if I could communicate with them through synthesizing and harmonic sounds.
Was it from like Close Encounters or something?
No, it's just from my encounters. It's just my brain literally was like, let's just see. I would get bored sometimes. Like I have a younger brother. He's 5 years younger than I am.
Yeah, so you guys weren't that close?
We weren't that close. So I had to be inventive and imaginative for myself. So I would do these things. I did my science projects in school. I came up with my own, like my mom would try to help me, but then I would come up with some concepts. My mother used to be like, how did you think of that? Like everybody used to do the easy volcano. Take some Play-Doh, baking soda, food color, and vinegar. I did, I made tornadoes in a bottle. I used 2-liter bottles to make nature's water filtration system.
Whoa.
So what I did, this is what I did.
How old are you, like, creating all this?
I was about...
Well, like elementary school?
Yeah, elementary school. Yeah, elementary school and a little bit younger.
Whoa.
Because I'm 36 now, and people are like, I can't believe that.
Yeah.
I'm like, thank you. Black don't crack. I took 2-liter bottles, and I did one. I had the one that was the full setup. It was cotton, rocks, dirt, and sand. And then I did control elements with each one individually, some doubled up or whatnot.
Yeah.
And I made the muddiest of water I could. And I would show how if you pour water through each, it would filter it naturally, but only a little bit. But when you filtered it through all 4 of those different elements, it was water, it was cotton, rocks, charcoal, and sand. And I would filter the dirtiest of water through it, and it came out almost clear.
So you're saying that's like an actual like natural filtration system.
Water is an actual it'll filter water.
So do they say like that's actually like plausible? Like
well, the problem is it'll clean it. It won't get rid of the bacteria, as much bacteria. You still have to sterilize it, boil it, and things like that.
Yeah, can you just like heat it up and get rid of the bacteria?
Literally, if you heat water, if you filter water like that, and then you're able to find a fire source and boil it, you will kill 99.9% of bacteria, anything harmful.
And then it's drinkable water.
Just drinkable water.
Right. And you were coming up with this like hypothesis or
just random thoughts. And then, but see, also those are random thoughts. I also, since I was 3, have read the dictionary and the encyclopedia.
Whoa.
So I was always into information and knowledge.
Were you considered like a prodigy? Or like
no?
You're not considered like a genius or anything like that? No.
They never tested me for it. Everybody was like, you just know you know so much that it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I have what a lot of people say is useless information, but it becomes useful at times.
Yeah.
And so I would read encyclopedias. I would read the dictionary. I would just study these things. Like I remember there was a Jewel Osco in Chicago, and my grandmother, every week a new set would come out. And I would make her buy me a new set because I would read the other one all the way through before the week was done.
You would read the encyclopedia?
So I would have like the A, which is A through AN or whatever.
Yeah.
And then the next one, the AN to BA.
You would read that whole thing?
I just go through it, read through it, and just, like boom, 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 whatever focuses and, catches my attention major, encyclopedia, different facts. And I would do that. I had 3 different sets of encyclopedias, 2 different dictionaries. My mom told me that when I was 2, I started trying to read the dictionary. Like I would see the pictures, but I would keep going trying to figure out how to pronounce this, how to pronounce that, how to understand this, how to understand that. So it was just something for me.
Were you like smarter than your peers at the time? I
was too smart.
Yeah,
because I was an asshole for being smart.
What do you mean asshole?
Well, I would be like, yo, why y'all just don't get this? And then the problem with that is my son is like that. I have a 13-year-old.
Yeah,
and my son is like that. My son gets bored real quick in school. He'll get done with a test. He's in a science medical magnet school where he can matriculate all the way through high school. And he does this work and he'll be done. He'll be like, man, it's boring.
Yeah. And
I'm like, his mom will be like, well, you got to talk to Jalen. And I'm like, I got to, but I know where he gets it from.
Yeah.
So I used to have that happen in school a lot.
So would they advance you or anything like that?
My mom wouldn't let me.
Why not?
She was like, I don't want him ahead. I need him to be on the exact same level, so he doesn't either get bullied for being the younger guy in the younger kid in the older class, or things like that. Which I was like, let's take this chance.
Yeah.
But I was bullied as a kid a lot because I got burned when I was 2. I have a burn on the side of my right side of my head.
Oh yeah, it's small. Like physically burn mark on your face, on your.
Yeah, it's way smaller than what it used to be, and it's on my shoulder.
Whoa!
And I pulled boiling water off the stove when I was 2. So when I was younger, it was really big. I was always teased and tortured, that.
It stuck around for a while.
It's always been here. Like I said, it's always.
No, but you said it was always like bigger.
It was bigger.
Yeah.
And until my head got bigger, of course, and my body got bigger, working out and things like that, it shrunk in size. But so I would be bullied about that, and so my mother didn't want me to be bullied about more things than possible. Even though bullying back then, kids always talk junk like they still talk shit to today.
Yeah.
But she just didn't want me to have to constantly go through that.
Do you think that if you did like advance to people around like your same like mental capacity, like you would fit in more because you're on their same level like intellectually?
I don't know. I think I would. I might have. I agree. I think I would have. I just it's hard for that one to look at the hypothetical and say, man, this would have been perfect for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm grateful for all the opportunities I've had. I mean, it's weird. I don't know. I might have, but again, who knows? I'm one of those people that look at it like this. there have been many paths I could have taken where I could have took the other path in the fork in the road. I
Mhm.
could have took the other way. However, those would not have led to the person I am today.
Mm.
They may have changed completely everything. Who knows? If I did go through the gifted programs and things like that, I may not be here with you today. I may not have been a comedian. I may not have become an actor. I may have done, I might be an aeronautic engineer.
Yeah.
I might have.
But would you be happy doing
But
that?
would I be happy? I don't know.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? I don't know different things. So that's why, people always say, well, would you have changed this part of your life?
Mm.
And to an extent, I'm like, I don't think I'd change anything
Mhm.
that have gotten me to the point where I am today.
Do you believe everything happens for a reason?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Whether you choose the path or like everything just like falls into place?
I think things fall in place. I think we choose a path sometimes because we're presented with a choice. We don't realize how much that choice will affect us later.
Mm.
We don't understand that this decision we're going to make at this moment in time, you and I talking right now,
Mhm.
is part of a decision that'll lead to something later.
Mhm.
Whether it be someone else saying, I want you to do this podcast, or I heard you on here, I want you to tell this story, or I want to bring you this, or bring you further to a bigger level. You see what I'm saying? We don't know
Yeah.
where it goes,
Mhm.
but we're taking this path right now.
Mhm.
So I'm one of those believers in that.
Okay. But and you're on like you like to say yes to everything? Or-
Pretty much.
Yeah.
If it's as long as it's not harmful
Uh-huh.
and detrimental, I'll say yes.
You feel like you'll miss out if you say no, or you never get scared to say no?
many a times.
Yeah. Or scared to say yes because you're too afraid that you'll fuck up? Or
many
like-
times.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
many, I've had so many opportunities with stand up that I've said yes to, and as soon as I said yes, I was like, oh shit, I got to be able to produce on this level.
Yeah.
Or I've had shows where somebody's like, I want you to do this show. And I'm like, nah, I can't do it.
Yeah.
Because I saw the quality of the shows beforehand. And I was like, I don't want to have myself associated with that.
Oh, okay.
But at the same time, I'm like, well, what if I said yes? Would that be this? I've even had to the point where, because again, I tell everybody, I'm a natural born asshole, which ain't, it's not the best thing to admit, but at
Yeah.
least people know I'm honest. I've actually had people back in Chicago, well, Illinois per se, not even Chicago, who I've told them you can kiss my entire ass. Like, they say you don't burn bridges.
Yeah.
And two of my best friends are comedians, and they'll always say, yo, dog, you can't burn bridges. I said, this is not me burning a bridge.
Yeah.
It's like, well, what is it? Me scorching this motherfucker to the earth. It's like, well, you probably would need, I will never need that bridge again.
So you know for sure, like you'll never
It's
go back to him.
It's certain things. It's like, I know I will never need.
Yeah.
If I get to that point where I need that, you'll have the permission to shoot me in the face. They say, what? Yeah, shoot me in the face, right through the cheek, so
Yeah.
it comes out the other one, so I can put gauge holes in there, so it stays there as a reminder
Yeah.
that I got shot in the face because I went back on something I said I would not go back on. You perfectly have that permission. They're
Yeah.
like, all right, cool, I'm screenshot. And literally, because we have like this big, me and my two best friends, one who lives out here, one is currently the co-host to the Trusty Sidekick podcast with Bobby Hill, and our other friend, Xavier Lamont. We have a long-running 3-year Facebook Messenger thread
Yeah.
that we just run. So when somebody says something, all right, screenshot. You already know what's taken.
Oh shit.
But we do that to each other. So
Just to like
all
fuck
right.
with each other.
Yeah, so yeah.
Were you a smartass in high school?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Does that get you in a lot of trouble?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So I went to 2 different high schools. I went to St. Rita first in Chicago, Catholic high school, all boys high school.
Oh,
First of all, I was not cool with that.
Nah. Was
But-
it your choice or your mom like?
My mom wanted me to do it.
Yeah.
She was like, you're going to go to a good school. And I was like, fine. I took the test, I got in.
Uh-huh.
But the shit is expensive.
Uh-huh.
And my mother was a single mother with myself and my brother. And so, because my father passed when I was 5.
Mhm.
And it became too expensive. So after that, I ended up going to Harper High School on the South Side.
Uh-huh.
That was free. But the thing was, it was weird because I come from a Catholic high school where they teach you on a higher level, quote unquote.
Yeah.
And I go to a regular public high school where they're trying to play catch up. So a lot of the stuff they're just learning, I've been learned.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, y'all need to catch up to this.
You're like, why am I here? Like, I'll catch you in like a couple
I'm
months
like,
when
come
you
on,
guys
man.
are caught up to me.
Y'all caught up to me. And then
Yeah.
I would talk junk. I would get in trouble. I would crack jokes all the time. That was my defense mechanism.
Yeah.
When I realized that I could talk shit and tell jokes back,
Yeah.
like I could go in on somebody and I can go in nonstop.
Uh-huh.
My mother used to tell me, my mother, my ex-wife, my son's mother, and my other ex-girlfriend were like, yo, you're that person and I never want to get mad at me because when you start talking shit about somebody, you go for the jugular.
You go deep.
You go deep.
Yeah.
You don't stop
Uh-huh.
because if you piss me off, I tell people like, listen, I'm cool. I'll joke with you. Don't think you're going to try to get me because when I start, I'm not going to stop.
Mm.
And I had that happen in high school. When I went to Harvard, I got in a couple fights because I was like, yo, you want to do this? Let me go. And I'm just like, pop, 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 pop. I'm just firing off jokes.
Uh-huh. And then like they come after you and you have to like stand up and fight?
Yeah. Sometimes what you said, I was like, yo, you wanted this.
Yeah.
Like, you wanted all of this.
Okay,
And
so you don't start it. They start it. Okay.
No, I wasn't. Because my thing was, I know I can fight completely, but I can also eviscerate you with words.
Yeah.
And if I can get you with words hurt harder than fists.
Yeah.
Because those resonate.
Yeah.
Because if I call you a bunch of names and I say something and there's a bunch of people around, they're going to remember that.
Yeah.
They're going to keep repeating that.
Yeah.
You can have a fight. You can beat my ass in a fight, but those words still going to remain.
Yeah, you're going to heal wounds and
Wounds heal from physical wounds heal.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I would go and then people be ready to fight. And then sometimes people like, no, don't fight him now. You answered it. I've had that happen at shows.
Mm-hmm.
I did a show in Morris, Illinois. Was it Morris? No, it was Oswego, Illinois. It's a small suburb outside of Joliet, Illinois, which is a suburb outside of Chicago. It's outside of Aurora, excuse me. And there was a guy, he was drunk, he was in a bar, he was heckling comics, and I was the last comic to go up, and nobody able to shut him down.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, don't worry about it, Jay finna go up. Go up, told dude, I was like, hey, man, you seem like you're having a great time. He's like, yeah. It's like, you got something to say with everybody said. He's like, yeah. I was like, you think you going to have something to say with mine? He was like, yeah. I was like, no, the fuck you not. I said, we're going to stop this right now. Mm-hmm. And he started saying something back, and he said something because, again, white guy in the suburbs. It's like, yeah, blah, we got fried chicken. I was like, aw, that's the best thing you got. Yeah. I said, listen, this is what I'll do first. I said, that's a warning. I said, come on now, let's not do this. He said something else again. I said, sir, listen. You can either enjoy the show or be the show. If you decide to be the show, I promise you, you're not going to like the show. He said something again. I said, sir, this is my third and final warning. The next time you say something, I promise you, I'm going to talk shit about you from every letter of the alphabet, A to Z, and I will not stop. And everything I say will come off the top of my head.
Yeah.
He thought I was playing.
Yeah.
I was like, you owl-flipped ass dude, you black bastard face ass. I was like, you Cheshire cat looker. I went all the way down to the letter N. He was ready to fight. I said, no, let him go.
Oh, shit.
He kept trying. They kicked him out the bar eventually.
Oh, okay.
The whole crowd and the whole bar was dying laughing. They were like, where did all that come from? I said, I told him. I gave him fair warning. I gave him 3 warnings to not go this route with me. And that's when he decided to become the show. He didn't like the show.
So, but as long as you make it funny, like it works. Right?
Exactly. Because you have a lot of comedians who do it, and that's become the big thing, is dealing with hecklers, is how we deal with them. Yeah. You know, are we completely belittling them? Are we just insulting them? Are we just going above and beyond? Are we crossing the line?
Yeah, because it can get awkward if like it's not funny. You're just attacking them. Like you don't know what they're doing, and you don't know what they're going through, whatever. And they just leave, and it's an awkward moment.
It is. And here's the thing with that too, and I'm glad you brought that up. People say that whole, well, you don't know what they're going through at the moment. This is true. We don't. However, you're at my job.
Yeah.
My job is on this stage, whether it be for 5 minutes, 7 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour. You're at my job now. My job is to make the majority of these people laugh. Hopefully all, because no comedian will make every single person laugh, no matter what. My job is to make the majority of these people laugh. When you decide to become that person to intervene in your own perspective or something like that, it is my job to shut you down, especially if the club or this venue is not going to do anything. Because that's the worst time, when you're at a spot and the club or the venue is like, well, we don't say nothing to people. We just see what happens. No, you don't see what happened, because I'm going to go ahead and deal with it. And then now you're going to be mad because the person going to give you a negative Yelp review, which I think is the worst shit in the world. People like, I'm going to give you a negative Yelp review. And everybody like, no, go on Yelp. I'm like, fuck you and your Yelp. Like, that's how I feel, man.
Is that the only time like someone has like attacked you on stage?
Oh, no. I had one happen out here.
In LA?
Yeah, I was in Lawndale, California. I was doing a bar show for my buddy John Faso. And bar shows can always be weird regardless. And there was an older gentleman. He was drunk as shit the whole night. Well, later, he came in like mid-show, and he was talking shit to everybody set. And again, I was about to go up, and I said something, and he was like, I was doing a joke about me not being from here. He said, I'm not from here. He was like, I bet that's right. I was like, I literally go up, look up to the sky, and say, thank you, God. Thank you for this opening. Because I didn't want to just attack him.
Yeah.
I wanted him. I'm the person like, I don't want, because again, that makes me the asshole.
Yeah, if you start it.
If I start it.
Yeah.
But if I come back at you, no.
Yeah.
Because this is different. And so I said something, and I was like, oh, sir, where you from? I said, oh, you probably don't know where you live. You probably live in a 2-flat cardboard box with a random turtle that comes by to visit you. And what do you say? I was like, why do you sound like Rocky that's had too many steroids and too much alcohol at the same time? He was so drunk, he literally tried to charge me on stage with his hand out to choke me. Here's the funniest thing about it. I have the mic in my left hand.
Yeah.
He did not know, and I never had said, I used to be a professional wrestler.
Yeah, you're a big guy.
He came, I literally still with my right hand, took his hand, took him all the way down, turned, never let the mic go. People were like, was this set up? I was like, no, this is all improv right now. I'm still telling jokes. I was like, sir, let me let you know I got this mic in my hand. I've been a pro wrestler 15 years. I legally need to let you know to beat your ass right now. Yeah. I said, but here's what we're going to do. We're going to have you calm down while I still talk on this microphone, and you still going to have a great time. Everybody was like, is this really happening? And so after he finally got kicked out, I was like, so where was I? And I just went back to telling jokes. Everybody's like, oh my God. I had a couple comics literally tag me on Facebook. Was like, I've never in my life seen any comic handle that professionally. Because without punching him out, without doing anything to harm him, just lightly and gently subduing him, keeping the mic in your hand, and then going right back to where you were. Yeah. It was like, that's a level of professionalism I can never handle. I said, well, also we're in a day and age where as a big black guy, if I take out an old white man, I go shoot the shit out of me. But it's also, too, again, that being professional of knowing how, if you're drunk, I know how to deal with you.
Okay.
I know how to deal with you. Okay.
Are you afraid like someone will capture it on video or something and like shit will go wrong? It's like, hey, this comic Jay Washington, watch him like beat up an audience member.
I would love for it to happen.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing is, I know how to defend myself until I get tired of just saying, whatever, you're going to think what you think.
Yeah.
It's kind of like how when we do the Schmodown, how we do Screen Junkies and do all this other stuff, you got YouTube comments and all that. It's like, I'll defend enough for whatever. But
you pay attention to the comments?
I shouldn't.
But you do?
I do.
Yeah.
I have, it's just, I don't know, it's that innate part of me that's like, look at them.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm like, why did I look at them? I literally had to post on Twitter yesterday. I said, hashtag do not look at the, matter of fact, I'm going to read the exact tweet because I posted it and somebody was like, yeah, I think you need to follow that more often. Because I was like, this is how I felt at that exact moment because it was so bad.
Well, you were looking at Twitter comments or YouTube? Okay.
I said, hashtag don't read the comments. Hashtag you can't fight everyone on the internet. Hashtag Jay and Silent Bob did it. Why can't I? Hashtag I know nerds. Hashtag I will track your IP address. But I was like, you can't do that. But like I said, when it comes to defending stuff like that, I get it. Because now comedians have caught this rap of, well, they go too far. When comedians have to apologize for the things that they do, that's getting to the point where it's like, let's stop this, okay? Because now you're trying to say, oh, well, it's free speech when this is the third. Listen, we're saying everything in a joking aspect. If you get sensitive over things, don't go to a comedy show. Or you can go to a comedy show, but what you do is go to what's called those family-friendly shows, those clean shows where you know nothing is going to be anything inappropriate. Everything is going to be sunshine and rainbows. Do not go see comedians who are known for saying things. And I bring that up with Tracy Morgan. Where Tracy Morgan was like, if my son was gay, I swear to God, I'd kill him. Something like that he said.
No, he said something, if my son was gay, I would stab him in the face.
I stabbed him in the face.
Yeah.
But he said it in a joking manner. And then everybody was like, well, why would he say that? Again, have you not ever heard Tracy Morgan said? Okay. Shout out to people who go to see Tracy Morgan thinking they finna get Tracy Jordan from 30 Rock and get a real big surprise.
NBC Tracy.
Right. You think you're getting that NBC Tracy. And the thing is, let that man tell that joke and let it be. Stop getting offended because this is life, unfortunately. As hard as it is for people to accept, there are going to be things that are going to offend us. And I say us as a collective. It's how we deal with it. It's not like literally, and I hate that I'm going on the defensive of that, but it's not like Tracy Morgan is literally finna go, hey, Sonny, you gay, and then stab him.
Yeah.
Because he's not gonna do that.
It's not even a metaphor. It's just like a
silly
made up thing.
Something randomly and obscure.
Yeah.
And I was just talking with a friend of mine last night. We were talking about that. Comedians have said things so much, you'd be like, that doesn't even make sense. But it's so funny because it's so stupid.
Yeah.
But now we got to sit around. I use Tracy Morgan, but there's many, many others where it's like comedians now have to somewhat come out and apologize. It's like, stop.
They have to do a full-on like statement in the press.
Had to do a Maher Cooper and do a press conference. I didn't mean. Now there's certain jokes that I will admit will cross a line.
So there is a line to cross.
There is a line because when certain situations. Now, I'm not belittling the struggle of anybody in the LGBT community because I have many friends who are part of that community. I have family members who are part of that community. I love them to death. I will stick up for them as I stick up for anybody else, and they know it. So that's never going to be an argument. But we have to realize what's worth fighting for and causing arguments. When Steve Harvey told that dude from Flint, I hope you enjoy your brown water.
Well,
that is something he shouldn't have said.
Because that's not even funny, though.
That's not even funny.
Yeah.
That's not even funny. You say that in an argument when you're trying to piss somebody off.
Yeah.
You can't say that as a joke.
Yeah.
That's something I would say if I'm trying to cut you down. Again, if I'm literally coming at you to cut you down, then my pettiness will kick in and say that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not going to say that as a joking manner because we know of the tragedy. That place has been without clean water for almost 2-3 years.
Yeah.
So that's not a joke.
So there's nothing funny about it.
There's nothing funny about that.
Mm-hmm.
But in different situations, we have to reevaluate what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And then it goes to this whole big discussion of, well, what's funny and what's not. Funny is subjective no matter what. It's no matter what. However, that's not a joke.
Mm-hmm.
That's a direct insult. That's millions of lives are affected with Steve Harvey. When Tracy Morgan said that, Tracy Morgan says obscure shit.
Yeah.
He does one joke where he says, I go buy cucumbers and look white women in the face. But you see how how absurd it is.
Yeah.
So
because you're picturing him like buying
like cucumbers looking at white women in the face. And I know people are like, well, you could picture him stabbing his son, but it's like there have been many parents who have ostracized their children because of their choice in life. But I don't know personally, I haven't done any research on it, so I can't speak on it fully because I don't want to be ignorant on the subject.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to know the context in which certain things are said.
But like, how can you see the intent behind it? Not like necessarily like he's against if he did have a gay son, he would be against it. Like even if it's a joking matter, like Bill Maher or something. Like, can you tell he's a racist because he uses the N-word?
Well, Bill Maher. Here's my problem with that. Bill Maher thought he had. I'm glad you brought that one up. Bill Maher's whole incident was Bill Maher got too comfortable. And Ice Cube even said it best. You think because you have a couple black girlfriends and this, that, and the third, and what you do, it gives you that pass to say it the way you said it. Because had he said, I as a black man, it's always, how do you get offended by it? When he was like, house nigga, I was like, whoa. Because that was just going above and beyond.
Yeah.
And somebody literally tried to argue me on Facebook, Bill Maher has done more for the black community than Ice Cube. I said, let me tell you something before I go and shut this whole thing down. I'm going to give you a chance right now to retract that whole statement and or delete it.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave this comment here before you say something. If you don't, I'm about to let you have it.
Yeah.
Because you can't say that. Bill Maher has said some of the most homophobic, Islamophobic, xenophobic things consistently on the show under the guise of comedy. He has said it. But that word in itself, it's a problem. That's like us calling Latino people spics and wetbacks. Cracker and honky for white people. People bring that word up. I was like, let's be honest. Are you really that upset over that one? How harsh does it sound?
Cracker, you mean? Yeah.
But it's things like that. When it came to Bill Maher, it's like, no, we can't. No, let's not do that. Because through that exact same example, Eminem. Eminem has been a prolific and standing structure in the black community, especially in the hip hop community, for almost 20-something odd years.
Yeah.
Never uses that word. Eminem grew up in the hood with these dudes.
In Detroit.
D12 were his homies. Never has used it.
He still didn't feel comfortable using it on a track or anything?
He said he never has felt comfortable using it. So if Eminem, who is in the culture that uses the word like the day, because the day ended in Y, if he doesn't do it, what makes you think it's cool for you to do it?
Yeah.
Louis C.K. did it, and Louis C.K. does it in a lot of specials. And I actually am against it heavily because I'm like, yo, people got to stop giving Louis this pass thinking, oh, it's Louis C.K. He can say that. No, the fuck he can't.
Why can't he say it?
Because he knows he can use it, and people just say, well, I'm Louis C.K. Because you try to go around it. There's a reason why black people have adopted and adapted the word. Because you take the power away.
That's what Ice Cube is saying, or that's what Bill Maher's defense was. Hey, you had a group called NWA, in the word, so it's free to use because it's your group name.
But like Ice Cube said, you take the power away from it. That is like women who call themselves bitch. They took the power away from that word.
Like a slut walk type thing.
They took the power away from it. It's the exact same thing. When you do all those, you take the power away from those who use the word to demean, oppress, and antagonize with it. When you take the word, you embrace it yourself and you utilize it. Like now, I will say I've heard so many coaches who use the word nigga, and you're like, you might want to stop. You might want. I was actually, because you hear and you're like, no, that's not yours. That's not yours.
Do Do you feel like when I want to say like black people use it, like do you feel like they shouldn't use it as much, or it's fine?
I feel like there's something out. I'm gonna be honest. As a black dude, I'd be like, yo, fam, there are other words you can use.
Yeah.
There are other words in the vocabulary that we allow to use. When you just do it so much, it's just you just have a limited vocabulary. I feel like expand your mind and understand there's other things you can say and do. So yeah, I do agree with that. There are times when you hear black people like, I'll be like, this is literally my words. Nobody else better not quote this. I'm like, nigga, stop. Like I feel like you just because you're going too far.
Yeah,
but you have that. And again, it's some who just abuse it. And, again, it's all about what your surroundings, your environment is, too, that allow you to use that word. Henceforth, Bill Maher's surroundings and environment do not dictate nor warrant him using that word.
Yeah.
I get him trying to say, I tried to make a joke out of it.
That's the thing that he said, I made a joke. It's the first thing I thought of. And that's kind of like your mind goes to like from hearing the word field to saying house. That's when he thought like.
Exactly. When your mind was the first thing your mind went to was that.
Yeah.
Like, wait, really? What was the? I just want to know what the second choice was.
Yeah.
I don't even care about further down the list.
Yeah.
What would have been option B if that was the first thing your mind went to?
Yeah.
But that it shows that there is an ingrained nature in some people to use that word.
But what about like a Neil Brennan, where he grew up like I don't know if he grew up in DC, but he was surrounded by Chappelle, and they say, he has the card, or is it called the card, or a pass, or something?
It's a hood pass. Yeah, let me tell you something. I got a best one of my damn good friends. For instance, when I wrestled Tristan Hayes, he will sometimes try to pull that with me, and he knows he can't pull it with me because I'll look at him like our buddy Willie would be like, "Pat, you crazy," because Willie is older and he's like he'll punch him. I'm like, Pat, I will stump your back molars out your mouth. Wow. And he'd be like, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
So he goes like full white guy.
I'm so sorry. I'm like, Pat, I'll stump your molars out your mouth. But it's because I get it. I get the context. But the problem becomes, and let me say this for all the listeners, I get the context of what people want to use it. I don't mean it in any harm. I don't mean it in any negative annotations. It's just when other people hear it, who may have used it in that light, they're like, well, if he used it or she used it, why can't I use it? I just watched the old school Shaft the other day with Samuel L. Jackson and Christian Bale, which, by the way, if nobody remembers, this is the time you get to see Nick Fury and Batman on the screen together.
Christian Bale's in that?
Christian Bale is in it.
Oh, shit.
And in the very beginning, Christian Bale is teasing Mekhi Phifer's character. And he's like, yo, dude, holla back. We got no 40s here, all right? And he's playing the racist type dude. And I'm like, yo, if they could have wrote that in a script for Christian Bale, he might have said, I think I can make it happen. Yeah. And he probably would have did it. But it shows the context of how people try to use it. Oh, I'm just joking with you. No, you're not. You're showing a deeper inner side that you think I can let out under the guise of comedy. Which brings me back to Louis C.K. Has Louis C.K. been around black people all his life? Probably. So he's from Boston. The scene he came up in, he was working with Chris Rock, this, that, and the third. Chris is giving him a pass. Everybody thinks Chris gives him a pass. Everybody else should. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, but he's not doing a stand-up bit with Chris Rock. It's just himself.
It's just him. It's himself. It's him alone. Let's not do that.
Yeah.
Let's not do that. Because you have all these up-and-coming young white comedians, male and female, who literally have gone, well, Louis said it, so I can say it. Let's not do that. Because I had to tell one dude at an open mic out here, I said, yo, you say nigga one more time on the stage. And I said it while he was talking. I said, you say it one more time. Not only am I going to stomp the back of your temples together, I promise you I'm going to rip your spine out your chest.
Whoa.
They were like, why are you threatening him for that? I was like, listen, y'all can give him that pass if you want to. But because you're sitting there saying, oh, it's comedy, now that allows him to think it's completely comfortable and okay for him to say that in any connotation. Comedy is just the vehicle to be using in other ways. Because anybody can say, I'm a comedian when I'm having random conversations with you and happen to tell a joke.
Yeah. I was just joking.
I was just joking.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. So, and they'll say, well, you don't know a person's intentions or heart. I'm like, yes, you don't know them, but you can see what they are. People reveal their hands easily. Everybody doesn't have a poker face. So
do you think Bill Maher would have to have issued an apology?
Yes.
Yeah.
I knew the whole, I will say this, he did have to issue the apology, which he did. The anger and outrage I also knew wasn't going to last. Because nothing lasts. Nobody stays mad at anything.
Yeah.
I put on Facebook earlier, like maybe 2 weeks ago. Yeah, 2 weeks ago when the whole Elijah Schlesinger thing happened.
Oh, yeah.
I said, I wish at the beginning of the year, I would have made a spreadsheet of things people are mad at and had another column for how long they stayed mad.
Yeah.
For another column say, are they still mad now?
Yeah.
Because people don't stay mad about anything. We're so outraged about this. No, you're not. You're outraged for the moment.
Yeah. You retweet it and then you forget about it.
You forget about it.
Yeah,
Something
yeah.
else happens.
Yeah.
But I can bring up things people are supposed to be still mad about, but you forgot.
Uh-huh.
Like I caught so much hell 2 years ago. Was it 3 years ago? When everybody started talking about, man, we're going to Miami for Memorial Day. I was like, yo, these are all black people I knew on one of my Facebook pages. Because I have 3 of them. That's a whole nother story. And it's not to hide from anybody.
Yeah.
But it was like, I was like, yo, y'all going to Miami for Memorial Day. If I'm not mistaken, after George Zimmerman was acquitted for killing Trayvon Martin, you all specifically said we're going to boycott Florida and not spend any money in Florida.
Ah.
Miami is in Florida. So what happened?
They forgot about it.
What happened? You forgot you were mad?
Yeah, yeah.
Well. No. You forgot you were mad? Exactly.
Yeah.
And so people forget and people stay mad for just a hot. Again, how many people are talking about Kathy Griffin still?
Yeah. It passes. Like she has to, I feel like she brought more attention to it than it needed to be because she held the whole press conference thing and the press came and took pictures of her and all that.
I like to say this.
What's that?
The world turned a D-list celebrity into B at the best.
Yeah.
Kathy Griffin wasn't even considered a real comedian.
No.
Until she took that picture. She's a celebrity, this and third. Whoa. Just last year, she would not even be considered a celebrity.
Everyone forgot about her.
But all of a sudden, now she's a celebrity. She's this big, now she's a big comedian all of a sudden.
Yeah.
How? Explain to me how.
Uh-huh.
But nonetheless, what you did was, for that week and a half, you bumped her notoriety up.
Yeah.
Now more people know about her who did in the past.
Yeah.
But guess what? Are you all mad about it now? No.
They're going to move on.
You moved on.
Yeah.
Ain't no going to. You've moved on. People stay mad about things for less than a week.
That's what you feel like it is?
Yeah, pretty much less than a week. I don't think anything has said, I don't think anything that was supposed to be so long-standing, which people, unless it's constantly brought into your face, unless it's constantly re-put in your face, like, stay mad at this, stay mad at this, stay mad at this, stay mad at this.
Yeah.
People stay mad less than a week.
But is that an issue, though? Or does that become a problem, like with the Flint thing? Like, people forgot about it. Or like the pipeline thing, like serious issues, like they're mad for a little bit and then they kind of like forget about it because they're upset about Kathy Griffin.
I think that's a problem too, because I'll be honest, as a whole, that's a small thing.
What's a small thing?
That Kathy Griffin thing is a very small thing.
Uh-huh.
In retrospect, because if Mahers took a picture, and got upset, and however did not get upset over any of the effigies of Barack Obama being hung, burned, all that, spare me.
Yeah.
But Flint has been an ongoing crisis consistently, and it's constantly being talked about, and just now criminal charges have been passed. Mm-hmm. Does that change the situation with the water? Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Those different things, it's certain things that need to be constantly addressed. Like we have to, again, pick and choose our battles. Mm-hmm. Kathy Griffin making a picture over the dude in office is not a big thing to worry about. Mm-hmm. It's a picture.
It's a photo of a D-list celebrity.
It's a D-list celebrity making a photo of a D-list celebrity.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Yeah.
But is it a big deal? No. Mm-hmm. There are things like, again, the Dakota Access Pipeline.
Yeah.
The Flint water situation. There are a whole lot of things that really require more attention and more focus that have been brought to light on top of that. These aren't things that have just been falling by the wayside. They've been brought to light and said, hey, pay attention to this.
Yeah.
Pick and choose your battles.
It's on social media. It's on everything. Like, why aren't you paying attention anymore?
Everybody, I treat the whole world like, I've learned this with stand-up, and I've looked at it in life like this now. The majority of the world has ADD.
Yeah. The
majority of the world.
It's that 24-hour news cycle.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Because you have a top story, it lasts for a couple hours, and then a new top story next.
Here comes something else.
Yeah. No one ever follows up on anything. That's what I see. It's like, hey, what about that thing? Did that guy ever go to jail?
Did that ever happen? Right? Yeah. Did that ever? Like, you brought that up.
Yeah.
But you didn't give me a follow up. What is that? No, I get that just happened too. But can you at least follow back up on the other thing you did before you did that one?
Yeah. The news or anything. I'm trying to Google it. Like, what happened? Like, it was like a week ago. I can't find any results now.
And again, people act like that's normal. It's not normal.
It shouldn't be normal.
It shouldn't be normal at all, but we've made it, and we've accepted it as normal.
Are you an angry person?
Not at all.
Do you get angry at things?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Yeah. I get angry at stupidity.
Like what?
Just things we get mad over, and things we allow to happen that should be common sense. Again, I bring up the Kathy Griffin thing only because, like I said, she was considered a D-list celebrity at best. And everybody's like, this celebrity. You would read all these posts and everything. This celebrity did this with this big following. Yeah. Kathy Griffin was on CNN one night a year.
Yeah, New Year's, yeah.
New Year's Eve.
No one watched that anyway.
No one watches it. The majority of people who complain, and that was another thing that made me angry per se.
Yeah.
The majority of people who complained about it were not even people who watched it.
No.
So it's like,
yeah.
What are you really mad at?
Yeah.
I get mad at because you expect the betterment and the best out of people. You're like, look, I get you have common sense. I get you have normal and general rationale capabilities. Utilize them. Don't be this. Don't be that person.
Yeah.
And I guess that's the thing that upsets me because you just want to see people do better. Everybody, no one's perfect. I'm not by any stretch of the imagination, but you just want people to be like, yo, why? It shouldn't be this difficult.
Yeah.
Like this shouldn't be the way that it is, but unfortunately it is.
Yeah.
You know.
So there's nothing you get upset about, or do you just like let it pass?
I get upset about it a lot, but I try not to let it get to me too much because I got too much I'm trying to do.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like I try to stay busy so I'm not upset about it.
Yeah.
I try to keep on my own life. Like, hey, I'm going to work. I'm doing my own shit. Like I don't want to be pissed off. That's why I stopped following people on Twitter and Instagram because they're just posting Trump sucks. Like, yeah, I know he sucks.
I get it. I tell people, like, yo, I don't get too heavy into politics. I don't like to get heavy into politics because, again, that's a rabbit hole you'll go down and you'll start on Facebook and next thing you know, 3.5 hours will pass. I've had that happen.
Yeah.
But I will try to bring people what's called facts. And I'm like, listen, stop saying shit like the mainstream media when you watch Fox News.
Yeah.
Fox News is part of the mainstream media.
Yeah.
Stop saying shit like, well, Obama did this. What are you getting your source from?
Yeah.
Well, Obamacare is bad like this. The thing is not perfect, but it actually works. You know, or
it's
better,
trying. It's trying to work. Yeah.
And like the best part I heard when this whole election, I know everybody's going like, oh, you sound like a bleeding heart liberal. No, I sound like somebody with common fucking sense. The best part when everybody was supporting Hillary Clinton for the election, this was the best part ever. Hollywood and these elitists need to shut up and let us make our own mind up. The dude you're supporting is a reality TV star.
Yeah.
He has an IMDb page that shows him as an actor in like 40, 50 things.
And like Home Alone.
So he was on 2.5 Men. He's been in all these different things.
Yeah.
What are you saying?
Yeah.
He had a show called The Apprentice that ran for numerous seasons. Here's the common sense behind it. You can't argue that when the dude you're supporting is... You can't say these elitists when the dude you're supporting is that.
He's a billionaire celebrity.
He's a billionaire celebrity.
Yeah.
And then people are like, well, no, there's no because there's no way this dude can tell you I'm one of you.
Yeah.
He doesn't know anything about what the average person lives like.
But here's the thing that he... Even if he didn't know, he was pretending. He was like, I'm going to fight for you. I'm going to do whatever you can.
He did, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like that expression, the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was to convince the world that he didn't exist.
Yeah.
And he did that. And I was like, how do you let a guy who is a known billionaire come into a rural town and literally use the words, I'm exactly like you, and you believe it? That is, listen, that doesn't even make sense in just saying it. A multi-billionaire.
Yeah.
I don't care even if he's a multi-millionaire. So what he may not be a billionaire. He came into a rural town, used the words, I'm exactly like you, and you went for it.
Yeah.
He said, because I'm not a politician. I do not care that you're not a politician. You are nowhere like me.
Yeah. But do you feel like the Democrats, or like Hillary Clinton, didn't do that? They're like, they didn't show their message like, I am going to fight for you.
I think that definitely was one of the things they didn't do. I also didn't. I mean, the thing is, you shouldn't. I mean, the thing is, my thing was she didn't do a lot.
She didn't, because it felt like she had it in the bag.
It was something, because you let's be honest, you never expected somebody who was just that brash when it comes to politics.
Yeah.
There's a level of brashness towards your opponent that we've seen before. It's nothing new.
Yeah.
We saw that. People got Mitt Romney and Barack Obama. People got mad at Obama because he didn't jab back at Mitt Romney.
Yeah.
So we saw that. But when you have somebody who did all this shit Donald Trump did on the campaign trail, technically speaking, I don't blame Hillary Clinton for being like, what do I have to worry about?
Yeah.
I mean, you can't, even if it wasn't Hillary, if it was Bernie Sanders, it was anybody, you literally look at what he does, how you cut the legs off a lot of people, and you're like, well, what should I have to worry about?
Yeah, where like there's footage of him saying he grabs women.
That, and then him mocking disabled reporters and all these other things. They're bad hombres out there. If any other candidate would ever use those words, he'd have been crucified. He or she would have been crucified in the media.
Yeah.
And so to watch all that, again, yes, you can kind of understand Hillary Clinton being like, I don't think I'm going to really need to do much for this.
She was playing the defensive. She's like, if I don't say anything, I'm not going to get in trouble.
Right.
Yeah.
And any candidate would at that point. Because you're literally looking at this like, oh, he's burying himself. He's burying himself.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't, and again, for the record, it wouldn't have to just be Trump. If Hillary did the exact same stuff that Donald Trump did, you just like, oh, she's burying herself. There's nothing you need to do. And it's like, I have a history of knowing how, again, when I'm president, being president, it says you're the president of the United States, but you're more so the liaison to the world as more than the Secretary of State. Way more than because you're that leader. You're that designated. These are the people who've chosen you to represent them. Yeah, I've done this before. But then we started hearing, well, what about emails? If y'all bring up emails one more motherfucking time.
Yeah.
But it's these different things. It was like, well, Hillary didn't go to Wisconsin and she didn't go to Michigan and all this in the third. It's not saying they didn't exist and they didn't matter.
What do you mean?
People say, well, Hillary didn't go to Michigan. She didn't campaign in Wisconsin. This and the third. Some states were already, I have a jobs record. I have an economic package to show jobs and to make this happen. Your states fall in that. Listen what I'm telling you during these debates. Here's my job package. This is to the people of Michigan. I don't have to come here, hold a rally, and be a snake oil salesman. I'm going to make you all jobs.
Yeah. But that's what Trump did. And
that's what he did.
Yeah.
And again, he did that, and everybody was like, he's going to bring back the coal industry.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then when half of you all have black lung, and now you have a pre-existing condition, and you can't get insurance, I want to know how that's going to work out. But that's why I don't get into it so much as a whole with politics, because, again, there's so much you can tell people, and you try to you put everything out on the table for them. Everything. And then people say, well, what about this? No. This is it all right here. Because what you're doing is you're reaching for something else. Yeah. And it'll make you frustrated. Again, I don't follow a lot of people who do political talk, but I follow people who do political talk. And so a lot of times I'll see it retweeted and liked and shared and stuff. Yeah. I'm like, here we go.
So then you go down the rabbit hole of stuff.
I try not to.
Yeah.
I try not to. That's why, it'll force me to say, all right, well, let me just focus on this. Let me just do that. Yeah. Because I don't, as much as stuff affects my life directly as it affects my children's life, I have to watch it, but not be so consumed by it. Yeah. Where it just takes all of me and then it drains you. It drains you
because you have to do your own thing. You have to provide for your family, like you're directly creating or just providing.
Man, listen, I have a 13-year-old son, a 3-year-old daughter. My son, as I told you earlier, he's in a magnet school. My son's in Indianapolis. My daughter's in Tacoma, Washington. I know it's like J-Spray, this seed across country. No.
Yeah. Well, what's going on there?
My son is by my ex-wife. We were married in Chicago. After we divorced, she moved to Indianapolis. Okay. My daughter's mother and I, we were together for 8 years. And we lived together in Chicago. When we decided that I was gonna come out west to make this move here for the family, she was gonna go home to Tacoma to get herself situated there until I could have everything stabilized here, bring them down.
Oh, they didn't want to come with you?
It wasn't gonna be any way.
Oh,
It wasn't going to be away. Financially, it wasn't going to be away yet.
Oh, okay,
but
yeah.
if she can go home to Tacoma, she has her mom and her family there. She's going to get herself back together too, because she knew she needs to do some things up there, which was fine. We had that understanding.
Yeah.
So that's how that happened. But those three, in a sense, are why I have to bust my behind day in and day out. Those three are the reason why if I'm up at 2 a.m, it's because I'm trying to figure out what's the next move for the next 3 days. I can't be consumed with everybody's opinions on politics, one side or the other. I can't be consumed with, well, you know, Trump said this. Well, you know, CNN said that and Fox said this. I can't do that 24/7.
Yeah.
I have to make sure that I'm working consistently until this bitch blows up. And I have to make sure that Jay Washington is known via TV, radio, internet, film. And I have to keep doing everything I can to consistently put Jay Washington in those different platforms because that's what matters. Yes, I have an ear to the ground when it comes to those. I keep myself informed on them, but I can't be consumed by them.
So are you like, what's your goal here to do, like stand up or be an actor, or what's the end game here?
My end game is the same thing we try to do every day, Pinky.
Yeah.
Try to take over the world.
Yeah.
My end game actually is I want my own sitcom.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I would love to be my own sitcom. I want
Like
to
to write and produce and act?
write and starring.
Yeah.
Yes, I want to do that. But also, I love doing stand up. I want to consistently tour. I want to hit across the world with stand up now. Hosting more stuff. You know, being the guy driving shows and stuff like that. Hosting a radio show for 3 years was great. Co-hosting the Trusty Sidekick is amazing as well, and I just want to keep expanding onto that. Acting has been so dope. I never took it seriously until I booked my first commercial. And then when I started being able to book more stuff, I'm like, oh, I must be good at this. And some days I'll sit back and I'll look at my IMDb page. I'm like, yeah, you've got to be good at this.
Yeah.
Because you have stuff, because a lot of people have IMDb pages and you'll look at their stuff and sometimes it's like, oh, these are shorts that friends made.
Yeah.
These are just little things. But I look at mine, I'm like, oh, these are like solid, legit things people can actually search and find and see and everything, and many people, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people have seen. And so it's just a matter of me being focused on constantly doing that. I want to consistently do more film. I want to be one of those top billing names in film. Again, television shows. I love doing TV. I love doing film.
Have you ever been a part of a sitcom or like gone to a taping or anything?
I have a lot. I've never gone. I have a lot of friends who are on shows out here. I mean, that's just the nature of the beast. I got a bunch of people who've written shows, produced shows.
Oh yeah.
Trying to write one yourself is actually a headache, and trying to find people that are write with you is sometimes hard.
Oh yeah.
But I want to start doing that. I've done some shows. I did a scripted reality TV show episode.
What's Out Here?
I did an episode of Hollywood Darlings.
What's that?
Jodie Sweetin, who plays Stephanie Tanner in Full House.
Oh yeah.
Beverly Mitchell and Christine Lakin, they have an episode.
Oh, Beverly Mitchell from Seventh Heaven.
Seventh Heaven.
Yeah.
Lucy from Seventh Heaven. She literally looks the same.
She looks the same from like the 90s.
She looks the exact. She's just grown, and you're just like, oh my god, that's you. I did an episode of a show with them. It's like in the beginning scene, but we had so much fun just doing that. So I did that. I did one of the YouTube Red TV shows.
So that's what you're trying to do. You're like trying to go into these little things, meet people, and then eventually like
do it all.
Create a brand.
Just a brand and a name or so. The brand is already there. The brand is there. It's the name and the recognition of the name. I want people to know. I want people to be able to say, when somebody says Jay Washington, you're like, yo, that funny dude, he's super cool to hang with. He knows what he's talking about. He's a good dude. His vibe, his energy is great, and we can have him around, and it grows. And his energy is infective. It's a great energy that everybody laughs around. That's why, like, when I love being around the people at the Schmodown, when I love being around people at Screen Text, they're like, yo, you're just a great dude to be around.
Yeah.
And I try to consistently do that.
Would you want to be known on like the same level as Chappelle? Like, oh, that's Chappelle. Oh, that's Jay Washington.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Like
absolutely. I'd be a
sketch.
fool if I said I did.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be a fool. That's why to say that, no, I don't want everybody to know who I am. No, I want you to know me.
Yeah.
But but also at the same time, as egotistical as it may sound, I want people to know me so that I want people to know me, and I've developed enough in a bank account and a savings so that I develop a legacy so that my son and my daughter have that to fall back on. I want to build up so much to the point where my son and my daughter can say, my daddy did this for us, to have this much that we don't have to work as hard. We have a way to do what we want to do to accomplish our goals.
So you're doing it for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. any and everything I do, I have my goals, I have my dreams, but the end result, the umbrella of that is Jalen and Jalea.
Mm-hmm.
Those are my kids. They're who I work so hard for. They're why if something doesn't happen that I really want to happen, I'm frustrated because it's like that's hindering the goals I have and the things that they need. Now, I do things for them in the here and now, but I want that future set for them as well.
Mm-hmm.
So,
has your son ever seen you do stand-up, or is he too young?
No, my son's 13. He's found me on YouTube.
Well, I don't know if your stand-up's like very family friendly.
No, it's not family. I've done church, but I do churches and stuff, so I can augment different jokes depending on what I need to do.
Mm-hmm.
But my son has seen me on YouTube and stuff. My son's seen me in commercials and in movies, and it's kind of weird to me. He's like, you do it. You just dad. I said, excuse me, because it's kind of. He's like, you're just dad. I was like, all right.
Yeah.
But to his friends, he's like, yo, that's your dad? He's like, yeah, it's my dad.
Yeah. It's not a big deal to him. It'll never be a big deal to him.
Never. Even as a pro wrestler, still is not a big deal. It was just like, that's just dad.
What do you mean? You want it to be a big deal to him as a pro
I
wrestler?
would like, I just in general, I just always thought.
Yeah.
I've always thought that the child of somebody who does something like, yo, my dad's doing this.
Yeah.
My son's like, it's just my father. I don't know what I'm talking about.
But you would think like the son of Hulk Hogan's like, my dad's a Hulkster.
Nick Hogan is like, man, look, that's dad.
Yeah.
But that's all. I mean, just I say that even with everything I've done, I guess it was something for me. That was what I wanted for me. You can brag.
Yeah.
No, that is my damn daddy. My son this is just my daddy.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, it's cool with it.
When did you start wanting to like perform or thinking about performing as either wrestler or stand up or actor?
I've actually been in plays since I was in grammar school.
Oh yeah.
They literally threw me into them.
It wasn't your idea.
Because I always had this energy and this energy and this personality. I got thrown. My first play was a Charlie Brown's Christmas.
Yeah.
And I got to be Charlie Brown. And I got to be the lead in the play. And they were like, and I just kept starting doing more and more plays and stuff. And then it was like, okay. And I stopped doing them in high school. And high school, I just played around. I did a few sports. I did football for a while. And then I graduated high school. That's when I got into pro wrestling. I'd always been a fan, but then I got into wrestling. And then.
Did you wrestle in high school?
I tried it. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I didn't like Greco-Roman wrestling. I just didn't like it.
So it's a lot different from
completely different. Yeah.
So how did you get into like pro wrestling?
I've always been a fan.
Oh yeah.
I'd always been a fan. One of my lifelong friends, Atlas, he lived across the alley from me. He had signed up for Windy City Pro Wrestling, and he was like, "Yo, you should come down here and train." Mm-hmm. And we went down there, and it was like, all right, cool. How much is it? $2,500. I was like, I won't be doing this. And so like a month and a half later, he left and went to another company. It was just $40 a month to train. I was like, whew, let's do that one.
Yeah.
And did that, and I got trained, and I constantly kept going through things, started meeting so many people I'd seen on TV.
What does wrestling training consist of?
Learning to run the ropes, taking falls,
okay.
Safely executing moves, safely taking moves, learning how to put a series of moves together in what's called a spot. And just, oh my God, there's so much involved in it.
So is it like, do you learn that in hopes of getting to the WWF or WWE?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. A lot of people, some people, the majority of people, when they get into the wrestling business, your goal is, I want to be in the WWE.
Yeah.
I want to be on TV. And everybody's not going to make it, unfortunately. You train so hard, you're like, maybe I'm going to have something. I got to figure out what do I need to have to be on that level? What do I need to do in the ring? What type of personality do I need to be on that level?
Yeah.
And so you train and you figure out what style of wrestling do you want to be. I was never this big. So I wanted to be a powerhouse, and I was way smaller.
Or you were never like a big guy?
No.
Like in high school or like at a college or anything?
Nope.
No?
I like my 4th, 5th year of wrestling, I just started powerlifting heavy. And I was like, I always wanted to be a powerhouse. I was like, I wasn't the size to be a power. I couldn't be a powerhouse and didn't look like a powerhouse. So I started powerlifting and eating and everything, getting bigger and big up. And then it was like, okay, built that up. And then I would always watch the old ECW. And Rhino was the dude. I was like, I want to be like him.
Yeah.
But
he's a powerhouse though. Isn't he a littler guy?
It's a smaller dude, but power. He's a man beast.
Oh yeah.
I just love how
the spears.
Yeah, the gore. And I always idolized him. And then I got to meet him maybe about 4 years ago. And when I met him, one of my buddies had already wrestled him a couple times. And when I met him, we were talking. And I was like, he's like, are you a worker? It's like, you like your worker? I was like, yeah. was like, yo, I was like, love to have a match with you one day. He was like, nah, I don't want to do that. I was like, why not? He was like, you beat my ass. And I was like, yeah, man, I think I'm gonna beat his ass. And so I was super giddy about that.
Mhm.
But
How long did you do the wrestling for? Or are you still like working at it?
16 years.
You're still working at it or no?
Not yet.
Or-
I may be coming back in the ring a couple months.
But do you ever think like, hey, why am I putting my body through this when like I can just be on stage and use my mind and stuff?
All the time.
Yeah.
I stopped wrestling so much after a neck injury.
Whoa.
And one of the things, I started doing stand-up at the same time. And I started realizing, I was like, oh, I can do 30 minutes on stage and all I need is a Gatorade. I do 30 minutes in the ring. I need a couple of days off.
Yeah.
Depending on how hard I go. But it's always, there's a rush that you get
Mm-hmm.
to show your own athletic ability, because as a bigger guy, I can do so much stuff people would never expect me to do.
Like technical stuff, like jumping off or
Mm-hmm.
like
Technical wrestling, jumping off ropes, moonsault, stuff like that. As quick as I move in the ring and quick as I move in general.
Mm-hmm.
People are like, I never expected that out of you.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, that's a beautiful thing. But also there's the crowd reactions. Again, that's why being a stand-up comedian is a great thing. Mm-hmm. You can elicit that reaction from people.
Yeah.
To make people either love you or hate you as a babyface or a heel. People wanted to make me a babyface. And I was like, yay, people like hate y'all really. And I hated being a face as a whole. Being a heel was cool, but my problem with being a heel was when you put me on the mic, I crack jokes. I can dish you, but I crack jokes.
So it's not like you're not like a villain. You're like a funny villain.
I'm a funny villain.
Yeah.
Till I'm beating people up in the ring. Like I remember, it was funny. Like maybe 3 years ago, I went back and did a show, and 3-4 years ago, I did a show, and I had already been doing stand up pretty frequently. Had been established that I'm doing comedy now. Mm-hmm. And so I got out there and somebody was like, hey, Trauma, why don't you tell us a joke? And I literally turned around, looked at the dude and said, the joke is you survived the abortion. And the whole arena, oh my God. I was like, yeah, I do this, sir. Yeah. I do this. And
is it a different rush with stand-up and wrestling?
Oh, absolutely.
It's a different kind of...
It's a completely different rush.
Yeah.
They're both types of highs. That's why I love them. But there's a completely different rush. Stand-up is that, all right, here we go. Whew.
Yeah, in the beginning, like you get clapped, you get like applauded a little bit in the beginning, but then you have to work for it.
Then you got to work for it.
Yeah.
Wrestling, you may not get nothing coming out the curtain. You may not get a thing. You got to work for it every single second. The businesses, they parallel themselves completely, but you have to work every single second, man. It is a work from the moment you hit the curtain, coming out to the moment you hit the curtain, going back in the back. It is a work for it. It helps develop character. It helps you to develop confidence in yourself. And
you didn't have that confidence going in?
I had it, but I didn't have it as strong.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I have it now completely. I will say that, but I still get nervous. I mean, like I said, a couple matches I did like 2.5 years ago, I still get a little nervous performing because now also in the back of my mind when I perform, if I go in the ring, is all right, I got to be super safe because Trauma is doing this, but Jay Washington got to be out here to tell jokes later.
Have you seen the movie The Wrestler?
Absolutely. So when it came out, knew a bunch of the guys that were in it.
Oh, they are like actually they used real wrestlers in it?
The very first dude that Mickey Rourke wrestled in the hardcore match when he had the heart attack, the Necro Butcher, is one of my buddies. I've had several matches with him.
Oh shit.
He's hit me in the head with his hard hat. And so cool. He was like, Jay, I'm gonna hit you with this. I was like, Dylan, you can hit me, but I promise you, you heard me, I'm gonna try to kill you. He's like, we're good. Devon Fury, all these guys, so yeah.
So, but like people say it's fake, but there is like a realness to it. Like he's really hitting you with.
Yes.
Yeah.
See, people, there is a level of we're trained to pull back punches at times. We're trained to pull back kicks at times. But there are times when you're caught in that moment, a punch will happen, a kick will happen. You get hit with things. The impact is real.
You can't fake a chair hit.
You can't fake it. Chair hit.
Yeah.
That impact is real. Everybody automatically thinks, oh, if you hit somebody with a chair, they're automatically going to bleed. No, they're not. No, they're not. It's just some people have literally harder heads than others.
So that's real blood coming out of them.
Yeah, back in the day, like a lot of times there was the blood packs, but if you can see when somebody's busted open for real. Yeah, there's a level of how your blood flows out.
Because like in the movie, he uses little razors or something to cut.
Right, that's some of the things that they do sometimes. Yeah, it's called blading.
That's a real thing.
That's a real thing that still happens to this day. But there's times if you don't get busted open, it's called getting busted open the hard way. Yeah. And getting busted open the hard way is when your body is just like, here comes the liquid. It's things like that happen. So
Yeah, Ken Knapsack's a wrestler
Yeah.
too. So he said like the movie The Wrestler is like kind of like a documentary because it's so real.
It's a documentary.
Yeah.
And there were some wrestlers who were upset because it told a lot. But at the same time, it lets you understand with some of these people who have not let the business go, who are older, and that was all they had.
Like 50s? Like
50s, 60s, that was all they had.
Uh-huh.
They never developed any other skills. Their only skill they ever had in life was to be inside of that square circle.
Uh-huh.
And it's a loss of family, friends. Your only friends are the people you see on the road.
Oh, that's a real thing. Oh, because you're on the road so much, you just like your family with the people that you travel with.
Yes,
Wow.
I have a lot of buddies who are currently in the WWE now. A lot of good friends. I'm mad I won't be going when they're in town. I should have called somebody to give me some tickets.
Did you ever have a shot or like chance to get to the WWE?
Not the WWE, TNA. I did.
Oh, you did TNA.
I had a chance with TNA. My tag team partner and I, Jerry Lynn, was one of the road agents. And when he saw us, he was like, "I love what y'all do."
Yeah.
He's like, "I want to bring y'all in." But this was before TNA was 2 hours.
Uh-huh.
He was like, we got too many guys for a 1 hour show. But I promise you all, when 2 hours comes, your name's the top of my list. TNA went 2 hours. He quit. So
that was that.
That was that.
And then when that happens, are you like, why am I doing this wrestling thing? Or you just like love it so much?
I still love it. I kept doing it. It just was like, well, you know what? I could look towards other things as well. I just won't put all my eggs in that basket of just being there. It was kind of hard for a minute. I will admit it hurted. But it's like, things happen. Again, things happen for a reason.
Yeah.
Again, if I might have got that TNA deal, who knows? Would I be here now? Probably not.
Well, you don't know what your life would be.
Have zero clue.
Do you still travel doing stand-up?
Yes. I haven't traveled much since I moved here because my biggest thing has been get known in Los Angeles.
That's the
because
place to be.
You need to be known here. And I think I'm pretty known now. So now the thing is, all right, let's book these shows back on the road. But it's like also I have a dope agent here who, I got you this opportunity to try for this, try for that, try for this, try for this. I'm like, I got to be here. But as long as I stay on stage, I feel like I'll never lose that stand-up muscle.
And there's a lot of places around here in LA where you can do the circuit.
Absolutely. There's so much in Los Angeles. And then just throughout California as a whole. And then if you want, you could just shoot over 4 hours to Vegas, do some shows, shoot over another 2 hours to Phoenix, do some shows.
So you don't have trouble finding stage time out here?
Oh, no. It was a little bit of a challenge when I first got out here because not a lot of people knew me. Big name people knew me, but the lower level people didn't know me. So the people who were at the time, I'll say, I'm not just demeaning people, but those at the time were the lower, they didn't know who I was. So it was like, well, I don't know if he's funny or not.
Yeah.
And they were the people booking the shows. But then people started realizing, oh, he's funny.
Yeah.
So let's utilize him here, there. And so that was a great thing that started happening.
So you broke in and now you're kind of like set.
I wouldn't say set, but I'm working my behind off. Everybody's like, yo, you're doing all these shows. I'm like, thank you. I'm just trying to keep doing more and more. I'm just trying to constantly keep working. I'm trying to stay grinding consistently. I don't like being stagnant.
Yeah.
So
you don't like sitting down, and because even like you said, you went to the gym before. You're gonna go to the gym after.
I'm going to the gym after this.
Yeah, you have to keep moving.
I have to keep moving.
Yeah.
I just because my mind, an idle mind is the devil's playground, and I like to be able to keep busy so I can know, like, all right, stay focused on this, stay focused on that, do this, do that. So do what you need to do.
You ever take a break or vacation or anything?
What's a vacation?
You don't know what that is.
I have no idea what that is.
It's a thing where like you take a week off, maybe.
I've never heard of one of those. I'm 36, and I'm dead honest. I've never had one of those.
You never had a vacation?
Never.
Whoa.
Never.
Yeah. Like, what's the point? Yeah.
I feel like there's so much I need to do.
That's what I feel like.
I have to do. I feel like I just can't afford to stop.
Yeah.
It's just me doing for me. So I can't allow myself to slack off in a sense. Yeah, I know everybody needs that moment to recharge their batteries.
Yeah.
Like people are like, yo, you go home to Chicago for a week, that's vacation. I'm like, when I go home, I'm doing shows.
Yeah.
I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I'm working. So
Yeah.
I'm not going home to be comfortable. So.
I feel like I have to earn my vacation. I don't feel like I've earned one yet.
I don't think I've earned one either. I don't think I've earned the right to say, man, I'm going to go chill for a while. I don't think I've earned that. I really don't.
No.
But I've been told, yo, you need a vacation. I was like, I don't know what that is.
Oh, people tell you, hey, Jay, slow down. Like,
I've been told a lot. I've
Yeah.
been told a lot, like, you need to just relax for a minute. I'm like, I can't because I have to keep moving. I have to keep focused. I have to keep going. I have to make sure I feel like this. I can't rest until the world knows my name. And it sounds obscure. It sounds just not obscure. It sounds just so
absurd.
Excuse me, that was the word of you. So absurd to say, but the world. I need people to know me.
Yeah.
I can't rest when my job isn't done.
Yeah.
You know, I know people are like, man, I'm gonna go take a break. Well, you can have that break, but I'm gonna take the time that you're not utilizing to take that spot.
That's the thing. If someone's leaves and takes a vacation, like someone else will be right there to fill that spot.
And that's how I feel.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't, because I'm like, I have to be able to, I have to be there and be ready.
You feel like you'll be replaced?
Yes.
Yeah.
Very much.
That's a huge fear.
That's a major fear of mine. It's a major fear of being replaced and being like forgotten about easily.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't want that.
No.
You know, I don't want that. I want to be able to be the dude who I work and he works and he's funny and he produces and he shows up. He's professional. He adds insight to whatever it is he's on, and you know, he's productive. I want to make sure I'm that person. I don't want to be that dude. Well, I haven't seen him, so he must be gone.
Yeah, where the phone stopped ringing.
Man, that's a fear.
That's a giant fear.
It's a terrible fear of mine.
Yeah. I can't deal with that either.
Dude, it's a terrible fear of mine to just be, because out here, there's almost 100-some comedians every day moving to Los Angeles.
Yeah, there's people coming in constantly.
It's a revolving door, and you can easily be replaced when you're out of sight, out of mind. I feel like, you know, people are like, well, if you make a strong enough impact, yeah, you can. I'm not on television yet to where I can disappear for a second and people still will remember me. I get a TV show, whole different ballgame.
Yeah,
you know. That's been the goal. TV. I mean, people are like, well, what about movies? Man, look, I thought that too when I moved out here.
Yeah.
I realized you need more TV. So I got movies. I need more TV.
But it's that thing that you were saying, like America in general has ADD.
Has ADD.
Yeah.
Has ADD. So you have to keep, they have ADD, so you have to stay in their face. You have to stay relevant.
Yeah. Like even a Kevin Hart or a Dave Chappelle, he comes out with a special. You watch it, you forget about it the next week, and so like he has to keep working at it. Kevin's
done one of the most amazing things. He's oversaturated. This is something everybody has said. But what he's done is put himself out on so many different levels. As not only just a comedian, but as an actor, as a producer, as a director, as a content creator, this, that, and the third. So you like, oh, Kevin Hart won't be forgotten.
Yeah.
You know, it's oversaturated because it's like we see so much, but it's like you see so much, you won't forget about him.
Yeah.
You know, you won't forget about it.
So is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Can be both. Can be both. It can be both, actually. Now, oversaturation can go to the point where people are like, I'm tired of seeing you.
Yeah.
You know, it can definitely happen that way. But there's also I need more people to know who I am. It's when you put out, so Kevin Hart put out, what, 2-3 movies last year?
Puts out a lot, and then he did stand-up specials as well.
So it's like all this was coming out, and everybody's like, Kevin Hart this, Kevin Hart this, Kevin Hart that.
Yeah.
Which is good, but that's because that's what you want. But sometimes you forget that we all do forget that people are like, okay, I've seen so much of you.
Yeah. But then, like, if he doesn't come out with something for years, like, oh, he's done. Where's he been?
Yeah, it's like he's done, but then I don't think you can always say he's done because it's like, again, you'll see the whole, well, he has these other projects he's working on. He doesn't have to always rely on stand-up. Like now he's doing the next level where he gave 6 comedians their own half hours he produced.
Oh.
Which is a shout out to Tanisha Rice, one of my buddies from Chicago. He put her out. And that's great. Because it's like, you think, oh, Kevin's falling off. No. Kevin's helping a new generation come up behind him. He's made everything. He's become successful. Now he's reaching back and bringing people up.
Is that something you would do?
Absolutely. Yeah. You know what? I don't have a level of fame or notoriety yet. And I always say that. But what I have done, and I will always take credit for this, is I've always given opportunities when I can. My best friends, like I said, Xavier Lamont and Bobby Hill, I've had shows. I'm like, yo, I gotta have somebody open for me. Which one of y'all open?
Oh, yeah.
They'll do that. Or if I get called, I still get calls to do shows in Chicago and around the Midwest. And I'm like, well, I can't do it, but here, hit up XL, because hit up Xavier Lamont.
Oh, so you pay it forward? I
pay it forward.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I could literally say, yo, I'll fly in for this. And sometimes I'm like, you know what? I'll give somebody else an opportunity. Because if I give him that opportunity, there's something else present. For me missing that opportunity, there's something else present on the other side that I'm able to take. So I'll give him that, and I can take whatever's present here.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to be, I could be that selfish dude. And people are like, well, you missing out on this and the third. And I'm like, possibly, but
people remember that, like, oh, he helped me. Like, I'll help him.
Yeah, and I don't even do, and I'll be honest, I don't do it for that.
No.
That's one of the biggest things. A lot of people say, oh, well, people will return stuff and will return the favor for you. And I'm like, I'll be honest, I don't do it because of that. I've given a lot of people a lot of things. I've helped out so many people just because it's in my heart. it's in my nature to do that. I've never given somebody this and given somebody that, or been there for somebody thinking, oh, yo, if I do this, yo, they got me back later on. I get know people who are well more established. I've been like, yo, if you need anything, just let me know. Like, yo, you don't owe me anything. You ain't got to give me nothing. This is just me being genuine and doing this.
That's the best way.
You know, because you set yourself up for failure when you start waiting on different things to come along and you start waiting on, oh, well, when they going to pay me back with this or
when
that.
You expect things.
Yeah, I don't want to be that dude. I don't want to be that person. So
I don't think you're that person. You seem like a genuine guy.
Thank you. I just don't, because I don't want to be that dude who's like, yo, let me just wait, because if I do this for them, then they gonna have this come up and they're like, yo, I need you for that and blah blah blah. I'm like, man, I don't care about that.
Or it's like those things where people like they shake your hand, but they're looking over your shoulder. Like, I don't want to.
Oh, please! I wish everybody could saw me roll my eyes when you say that, because I've seen that so much out here since I've been out here. I call it the Hollywood conversation and the Hollywood greetings. Yeah. Like, I hate people who will shake your hand and they be like, hey, I'll walk up to you and be like, hey, I'm Jay. What's your name? You're like, Brian? Yeah. What do you do? What the fuck does it matter right now? Yeah. This isn't an environment for it. How are you? Yeah. How are you doing? Yeah. How is life? Pleasure to meet you. Yeah. I don't give a shit about what you do. So when people ask me that question, they'll always say, well, what do you do? I'm a regular black dude that's just hanging around. Yeah.
It's really, what can you do for me?
Yeah, that's because that's all it is. Yeah. I've also seen that conversation where I'm talking to you and I are having a conversation, but I'm looking to the side really because I see somebody walking away over there. Yeah. Now, there's a difference between scanning around, because I'm one of the people that's always aware of my surroundings. Oh, yeah. But my focus primarily is here. Yeah. But I'm not, so as you were saying, blah, 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 looking to the side. Oh, yeah. I hate that. Yeah. I hate that. I've had people done that to me, and I'm like, all right, it's LA. This is the culture here. It's a fucked up culture, because everybody want to see who they can jump onto, who can they attach themselves to, who can they cling on to. Yeah. Be you. Yeah. Let people gravitate toward you. Let your energy be effective, and people come toward you. I know a bunch of people who are doing a bunch of dope shit. And I hang around them because I just hang around the person that they are. I don't hang around the resume that they have. Yeah. I don't hang around the credits in which they've accumulated. I don't give a fuck about all that. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I don't care. I think it's dope that I get to hang around people who have done such amazing shit. But I'm like, yo, you're just a cool person I can just talk to.
So you won't talk to him because he does this show, or because you might have a chance to get on that show?
No. Yeah. Yo, I was talking to somebody one day. I wish I could remember who it was, because, again, the conversation was so quick and it was just a general passing conversation. Yeah. And it was a conversation, because I mean, you meet so many people out here. Mm-hmm. And I was talking to him, and then when the conversation ended or whatever, it was cool. And then one of my buddies was like, yo, you realize who you're talking to? I was like, nah. It's like, that's the producer of such and such. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just the guy.
This is the dude I was talking to. Like, yo, that dude could have put you up. I was like, I don't give a shit. Yeah. Now, people are like, well, in retrospect, do you feel sad that you didn't know? It's like, I guess, whatever. Yeah. But it doesn't matter to me.
It wouldn't have changed anything.
Right, because here's the thing. I see a lot of people find out, yo, such and such is a producer for this. Yeah. And next thing you know, that conversation becomes, so I heard you doing this. Well, I'm trying out here to do this and do that and be this person.
Casting directors are the worst. Oh, this guy's a casting director? Let me go talk to this guy.
I met a casting director at a party when I got here. One of my buddies is a buddy of mine. He was in Chirac with me. He's on a TV show. And one of his buddies at a party, we were there. And everybody was talking about what they were doing. And they was like, what do you do, Jay? I was like, yo, I'm a regular black dude just hanging out, enjoying the scene. I swear to God, that's what I said. Yeah. So my boy probably was like, yo, don't do that. Yeah. I was like, what? I'm a regular black dude just hanging out, enjoying the scene. He was like, man, tell him what you've done. Yeah, I ain't telling him shit.
But here's the thing. What if they're looking for a stand-up? They're like, oh, like I'm a stand-up. And you didn't say it.
So this is what happens. Mm-hmm. So he's like, man, he does stand-up and he's an actor. And he's like, oh, well, what you mean? I was like, Spike Lee, Chirac. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And so one dude I'm talking to him, he was like, yeah, you do all this. He was like, oh, so you're out here, you're an actor? I was like, yeah, I'm stand up too, blah, blah, blah. And we talking. He's like, oh, you rapped? I was like, yeah. He's like, oh, okay. I was like, so I was like, I have to just randomly ask, since we're asking this question, what do you do? Yeah. He's like, I'm a casting director. I was like, oh, okay, cool. He was like, well, who are you rep by? And I told him who I'm rep by. He was like, I know your agent. I love your agent. I was like, word? Okay, cool. Yeah. I said, yo, let's just take this picture real quick. Take a selfie real quick and we're going to send it to my agent. Took a picture, sent it to my agent. She's so cool. She texted me back. It was like 11:45 at night. She's like, how in the fuck are you with him right now? She's like, how do you meet all these people? Yeah. I was like, I'm just hanging out. She was like, that's what I love about you. You just hang out. And you don't try to be up under people to be up under people. You just are you. Mm-hmm. She's like, that's why your personality is the way it is. Because he was like, yeah, because like now there's certain things where he casts for certain things and then he'll hit her up and be like, yo, can you tell Jay if he's available to come down to try to audition for this?
Mm-hmm.
And he'll do that. But that was off of a general rapport that we made. It wasn't a, yo, you're a casting agent. This is what I do. Here's my agent, blah, blah, blah. I didn't want to do that. I'm going to just like meet you. Whatever happens, happens. I don't care about all that. Yeah, may it be beneficial for me? Potentially, possibly. Will I probably feel shitty if I didn't take a major opportunity for it? Possibly. But I still feel good in myself knowing I didn't change who I am.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's like, well, you know, you got to be aggressive with some things. This is true. But at the same time, I've gotten 99.9% of the shit I've done through blessings from God and him saying, these are the people I'm going to put in front of you. I didn't have to be anybody else. I didn't have to do anything extra. The talent that I'm blessed with that I have has allowed me to have that.
Yeah.
I don't have to do anything else.
Everything happens for a reason.
Happens for a reason.
Yeah. Before we go, I feel like we talked so much. I've learned so much about you. I just want to know like how you got into Schmodown.
All right. So of course, I've been doing Screen Junkies for a while.
Oh, yeah?
I've been doing Screen Junkies, did movie fights and a couple things. I've been doing news for a while. And Ken Knapsack had hit me up. Was like, yo, why don't you come down, check it out, see if you can do the movie trivia Schmodown. I was like, all right, I'll come down one day, and I came down to watch the tape, and it was super dope. Yeah. And I was realized, I know some of these answers.
You know a lot about movie trivia?
Pretty decent on it. Like, I have to catch up on certain, like, 90s, certain movie categories, yes.
Yeah.
But when there's certain movies, I'll be like, hey, watch them. I'm not going to lie, but I'll catch up on them, you know, to refresh my memory on them. And so Ken and I were talking, and he introduced me to Christian, and Christian and I were talking. And he was like, yo, you think you do it? I was like, yeah, possibly, yeah. Why don't you come down and do it one day? And so we set up for me doing it. That's when I had my match with Draco. And he was like, you do know your stuff. And so come to find out, Christian used to write for the WWE. Yeah. And then I knew Mark Ellis through stand-up.
Oh, so you knew Mark beforehand?
Yeah, through stand-up.
Oh, yeah.
And then it's like you see all these people, and everybody's like, oh, just, you know, keep coming and hanging around. And then so started talking to everybody, started getting cool with everybody and meeting everybody. And then Christian was like, I want to keep using you more if you don't mind. I was like, absolutely not. What do you want to do? Yeah. Because I'm that open guy. Like, what do you want to do? Let me know. I'm here. Yeah. And so we did it. And then next thing you know, right now, the rest has been history as of now. It's been so fun especially meeting all these people who are big in the TV and film community and people who are pretty much big name influencers and everybody. Like we hang around these people. And I look at their Twitter followers, and I'm like, man, I just got this little Paisley 4,400. I'm trying to step my game up.
Yeah,
so,
so you started off like competing initially as like a singles.
Yeah, I did it. I did the singles competitive. I was going to compete. I did my match against Draco, and then I did the free for all.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then,
but now you're like representing like the 6 degrees.
6 degrees, okay. Yeah.
How did that come about?
Christian had an idea. He wanted to do something. He was like, I want to see how you like it. He was like, so we talked about it, and I was like, I have zero problem with it. I don't mind. He was like, you might not compete for a minute if you don't mind. I said, I don't care. I mean, I don't mind competing. I said, I'll compete, and I'll be a mouthpiece. I'll have fun. I'll be a personality. I don't mind. I'm open-minded, so I'm like, let me know. Yeah. If it doesn't demean me, I don't mind. It doesn't matter. And so then he was like, well, let's talk to Brienne and stuff and see how Brienne feels and talks to Stacy and everything. And so we sat down and we're like, let's see what we can do. And Brienne and I had a long discussion about how she wanted to go about it. And I was like, what does she think was best? What does she think for my ideas? And I told her what I thought, and we brought it back and forth, and we came up with what we did. And then we were like, all right, let's do this. And so when Brienne realized I can be that mouthpiece, she was like, oh my God, I didn't know you could do that. Yeah. I was like, yeah, I've been a wrestler, so I know how to do it. Yeah. And so then and then we brought Stacy into it, and it's been great because Stacy has gravitated toward it. She loves it to get a chance to be angry and sassy. Brienne likes it too because Brienne gets to be a new person. Yeah.
They're kind of like quiet girls, but then they like to like go and be the villain, be the heel.
Yeah, sometimes you get a chance to bring the other side of a person that's been lying dormant out. Yeah. And it's so dope. Brienne, I commend Brienne and Stacy on their costume choices. I watched a lot of the old Schmodown stuff. Yeah. And to be the characters they are. And so now they allow themselves to be the characters and to be a different persona on top of the character. Like when I become the Urban Gladiator, I literally just become Trauma, who I was anyway. Trauma the Urban Gladiator is basically my wrestling persona. I become him without wrestling boots. Yeah. I've always been that guy on the mic that talk junk, that can keep cutting you down, that makes sure you don't get a word in because I'm firing it off. And when I'm firing it off, it all counts. And so I just was allowed to be that persona. If they put a wrestling ring inside a Collider, that would be the only other thing they would need. Yeah. to be quite honest, but that's all we need. But I'm allowed to be that persona, and it feels so good to still have that muscle that I can utilize.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
I feel like all this like wrestling training background stand-up, it all like
it helps so much because of what the element that Christian, that's why I tell a lot of people give Christian flack for a lot of things. Well, no, just have the trivia. If you just had the trivia, it would be boring.
It would be Jeopardy style boring.
It would be Jeopardy style boring.
Yeah.
But to have the personalities, to have the characters, to have the added elements, it brings a heightenedness to this program that I'm honored to be a part of. You know, I like I tell everybody, to do Schmodown has been so dope on top of the other stuff. Again, it allows me to be who I used to be and to be a mouthpiece. And people are like, yo, he can talk on the mic.
Yeah.
You know, he can talk. And then like people in the background be like, yo, you know your stuff too. I'll be like, yeah, I know.
Yeah, you grew up? Like, do you grow up watching movies?
I grew up watching movies all the time. My mother was overprotective a lot of times, so I didn't get to go outside a lot.
Oh, so you had to stay home and watch movies?
Saturdays, Sundays, I was watching movies. So
and you good memory. You were reading the encyclopedia.
I remember movies and stuff like that. So yeah, I love it, man. I love the family per se of the Schmodown. Like you see all the characters. I will say I've done different things. Like when I did the Schmoes No Show, that was fun.
Yeah.
When I did the podcast with John Roca.
Yeah.
Roca and I have gotten so cool and close because of just being able to talk like men about different things. And I have a friendship with Roca now. And it was so cool because I see the person he is. You know, I have a friendship with Brianne. I have a friendship with Stacy. I have a friendship with Christian, Mark, everybody. You know, Grace and I joke around. It's just so many people now that I've joked around with. It's like you develop these new friends who accept you for the person that you are, because it's not like, well, what can I get out of you? No. Or what can you get out of me? Yeah. It's just we're all hanging out. We're having fun.
Yeah, it's like a group of friends just making YouTube content.
Making YouTube content that works.
Yeah.
And I tell everybody, I love it. And, you know, would I love to do a lot more, you know, even competing? Yeah. Would I love to host a show on Collider? Absolutely.
Yeah.
I would love to have a show on Collider, do some things.
What's your own podcast, the Trusty Sidekick podcast?
The Trusty Sidekick podcast. So what we're trying to do, Bobby Hill and I, we talk about the Marvel and DC TV show and movie universes. That's it. So we don't go into anything that's only the live action TV and movies. That is so much that we cover in a roughly 1 hour and a half podcast every week that they're like, how do you all do it and keep it so entertaining? Because we're two big grown black nerds, but we're friends, and we don't just say it like it's a recap show. We recap it, but we recap it from our personal perspectives. So we're like, yo, this is some bullshit. Like, yo, what are y'all doing?
Like you're being real and honest about it.
We're being raw and honest about it.
Yeah.
So the goal is to try to take the Trusty Sidekick to video and give it a live version so people can see it. A la Desus and Mero style on Viceland, PTI, stuff like that. We want to do that. So because we know we can bring that, and because that fan base is there, we just want a platform that'll give us the opportunity to do it. So that's been the thing too, is just trying to figure out who's going to allow us to do that. You know, we want to produce it, but it's like, yeah, we can produce it and have people help us, but it's just the two of us right now trying to look for people, but we want to be able to do that.
But right now it's just about building the audience, building the brand.
Which has been so dope. We never thought that the conversations the two of us have would be anything.
Yeah.
And then we started putting it out, and then all of a sudden our listenership just started popping. We're like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
It's like, what the? Like right now it's hard to produce content every week for it because the shows are all on breaks. You know, there's a lot of news, but there's not much happening. So we'll take maybe a week and a half off.
Okay.
And then we'll do, because we normally do every week, but that's when the shows are running because there's consistently stuff to do.
Yeah.
So we'll try to let stuff build up, and then boom, we'll do that. But it's like people will tweet us and hit us up like, yo, where's the podcast? Where's the episode? We're like, it's coming. You know, you got to wait for, you know, we tell everybody, look, this is off time, so we don't have a lot to. We don't want to just throw 20 minutes out there to throw 20 minutes out there.
No, it's got to be good.
It's got to be something that's out there, right? Consistent and, you know, good content. And so the thing is, it's been so amazing. Everybody's like, yo, what do you mean? Like, y'all Facebook numbers don't, like, yo, people don't have to like the page, but the download numbers are bananas. Like, we was like, one day we were like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah. Are you on YouTube or like a SoundCloud or
iTunes, Google Play, Google Play, and any place you can find podcasts at, Stitcher, all that. And so people are constantly downloading it, We're like, what the fuck? Like, it's just amazing. It's been surreal. Like, a lot of people know us from the podcast. Like, Bobby was telling me he was out one day and somebody was like, yo, you're Bobby Hill? Like, you're half of the Trusty Sidekick. I love you and Jay. And like, I've had people like, yo, you're the dude from the Trusty Sidekick. I was like, yeah. Because it's just weird when I still to this day get weirded out when people like, I know you from that. I'll be like, yeah. Okay.
Because you don't realize there's people listening. There's like people like who understand who you are.
Yes. It's amazing, dude.
Yeah. You having fun?
I'm loving it.
Yeah.
I'm loving it all, man. I'm loving every single moment of it. I just want to keep going higher and higher with it.
I feel like you're a hard worker. You'll work at it until you get what you want.
Dude, that's all I can do.
Yeah.
That is all I can do.
Yeah. Where can people find you on Twitter and Instagram?
Instagram, Mr. J Washington, MrJaywashington.
Well, thank you for talking to me, man. I had fun.
Man, thank you for having me, man. I had a ball.
Yeah. I hope you had fun.
I did, man. I had a blast, bro.
All right. Thank you. Well, you can find me at Beardo at Twitter and Instagram, and I'm done. Let's get out of here.